Sir, you're charged with especially aggravated kidnapping. You're also charged with aggravated assault, and you're charged with theft of a firearm worth less than $2,500.
You're talking about stuff that is not
We will bring the jury.
Hello and welcome to the Court of Public Opinion. I am the Recovery Addict, and boy, do I have a case for you today.
Why is the dog chewing on this guy?
I think they have got the wrong guy
They
there.
got the wrong guy, and the dog was biting him.
He roughing him up quite a bit. There's a lawsuit.
9 out of 10 judges prefer watching the Recovery Addict live stream in their courtroom.
The fireworks are not done.
Now we're getting commentary on the case. Dati mihi Anglican po, he's verbal club.
That's literally not true.
I didn't ask you to interrupt me.
Is that correct?
Oh, for Trump's sake.
Good morning, happy Friday. Welcome to the Court of Public Opinion. I am the Recovery Addict. Great to have you with you on this recap day for Kouri Richins, day 1 through 9.
You are banished from the state of Georgia.
Banished, I tell you, I can't go there. Welcome one and all, especially...
At the beginning, when we started 110 years ago?
I do remember that, especially Kim. Kim, congratulations. I know you've got some travel in the works today, but bring your laptop. You're going to be maintaining the internet for the rest of today, so enjoy. Congratulations, you're an internet winner for being first in chat. All right, let's see. We have a bunch of stuff to talk about, and quite honestly, we have. Hang on, hold please. Something's wrong. Turn on my lights. There we go. That's better. There's a faint glow over here. It was missing, and I noticed it. All right, lights are on. All right, good morning. Good Friday morning. No court today in the Kouri Richins trial. Today only. They're calling it quits just for today, and we expect the state to rest early next week, which means I anticipate this goes to the jury next week. That means maybe 3 weeks of trial instead of the 5 they had slotted for this. It's gone a lot faster, and we'll talk about that, the reasons why in just a little minute. I have prepared for you every minute of every hour of court that we can rewatch today, all 9 days. The only problem is we don't have enough time today to watch all 9 days, so we're going to have to skip through and catch little bits. We're going to try to recap and show you all but one of the witnesses, so you can just get a refresh your recollection as to who they are and what they testified about. We've got that all keyed up and ready to go, and I was going to edit the whole thing down into just a series of quick little clips, but as 10:30 rolled around and I was still on witness number 2, I said I'm too slow at this. We're just gonna use the replay machine and speed through it. So, all right. Good morning, and to all that are here. Let's see. Kim R16 says 33 months on our 25-year anniversary. Yay, Kim! Congratulations on your anniversary, and congratulations on 33 months. You are in fact an OG. Thank you very much. And also, speaking of OGs, out and about with Di, popped in to say hi, and I'm off to bed. Love you, R.A. Out and about. Get some rest. Thank you very much. 30 months, OG. Thank you for your support. All right, a couple of others. Actually, Mal's your pal, member for 25 months, also an OG. Love the recap idea. I need it. Well, it works with the break in court. Had we not had this break in court, we just couldn't have done this. So we have a couple things we do every morning. Wagger sleeps. R.A. sleeps during the show at times. Apparently, sometimes briefly, I take a little cat nap on the air, and it helps a ton. I am super excited about today for a couple of reasons. First of all, I'm getting my shoulder fixed this afternoon. I'm so excited because it hurts so stinking bad. There is no position I can sit in that's comfortable. So if you see me just like doing this, and, sticking my arm behind my head and everything, it's because it just hurts. It just hurts. We're getting it fixed. And I can't wait. So massage therapy for the win. Let's see. Let's see. All right. Looking forward to this recap. Thank you. Where is Bryce's pants? Did Greeners still steal them? Greeners. Did you try plugging the shoulder in and back out again? Laura, at this point, I'm about ready to just get it separated. This is the shoulder I got cortisone and shots in one time, which was probably the most painful thing I've ever experienced in my life, including some pretty embarrassing injuries. Yeah, this was, it's the same shoulder. It's bothering me. But we're gonna work through that, and then we're gonna get it fixed, and then Monday's gonna be like a new day. So I'm excited about that. All right, Red Pen comes in with the birthday list today. It's short, but we've got some great people to celebrate. It's Art, Danielle, Lynn, and Mandy. These great people are having their birthday today, and the only appropriate thing to do is to let Kurt sing a solo happy birthday to these wonderful, no, just everywhere, wherever you are, all join in. That's what you do. Everybody just join in. Sing happy birthday to Art, Danielle, Lynn, and Mandy. So wherever you are, stand up, take a deep breath, shoulders back, project your voice to the back of the room, blend your voice with your neighbor, and warm up with me if you will. La 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 la. All right, here we go. Happy birthday to Art, Danielle, Lynn, and Mandy. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to Art, Danielle, Lynn, and Mandy. Happy birthday to you. Art, Danielle, Lynn, and Mandy, happy birthday. There are many wonderful days, but today is your special day, and I realize there are a million places you could have been and a million people you could have been with, but you chose to be here with us. Privilege, pleasure, the honor, the joy is ours. Hopefully we can turn that joy back to you, make your day just a little more special. And begin by helping yourself to free pancakes at Denny's, IHOP, Village Inn, Waffle House, McDonald's, Tammy Dalton's House, Andy's Grill, Bob Evans, and Cracker Barrel. Woo! First try. Kurt, you sounded great, by the way. Sounded great. You can come get your shoulder fixed while I get 2 new knees, says 79-year-old. Oh my goodness. Oh. I'm excited. The meds are kicking in, so it should get better here in a minute. And I might get a little worse, like loopy. But all right, happy birthday with the birthday celebration in full swing. I sang the song. No one could hear, though, unfortunate. Kurt, we could imagine, like Heavenly Choir of One. It was beautiful. Greeting says, McDonald's, I'm not going to eat there if the CEO doesn't even eat it. That was on the podcast last night. The CEO he's got like a whole board full of people to advise him on how they can advertise best for the company. And he decides, well, never mind. I've got an iPhone. I'll just film my own commercial. And he does. And if it was like perfect, like if the fries got smaller and smaller as the meal went on, it would make sense. But the fries just refilling suddenly halfway through the meal, we know this thing's staged. And you taking the world's smallest bite and being like, yeah, I'm going to finish this one later. I'm going to let you go while I spit this out. We're just not convinced. We're just not convinced you like it. Big Arch might not be for me. All right, we'll sing happy birthday to your new shoulder on Monday. Drum solo. Good for the shoulder drums. All right, with that done. Scotty Scott has a birthday. Happy birthday, Scott. I'm sorry, I missed it. Happy birthday, Scott. Consider yourself sung to. I just can't go back and do it again because there are rules about that. But, we use the form. we let us know. Scott has a B-Day today in Victorville. That's awesome. Happy birthday, Scott in Victorville. All right, let's see. And that is why you have the birthday form right here. You can fill it out any time of the year, even 364 days in advance. You could put it on there, and then we'd know. We'll get him next year. All right, let me show you. I'm going to take you behind the curtain, so to speak, and let you see my view on the editing. Let me show you what I've done. This is fun. This is my DaVinci Resolve program that I use. It's some great software. They have a free version, but this one costs I think about $300 because it's the upgrade. This is all of the trial. Like the entire trial is right here on this timeline. If I can find my mouse, it would be better. That's not it. That's not it. That's it. Okay, found it. All right. This entire timeline is everything that has happened in court minus one witness. So if it happens in the Kouri Richins trial in the last 9 days. It's on this timeline unless you're an undercover cop. That's the only part I've really clipped out. This takes us all the way up to day 3 right here and beyond. We're gonna zip through all this, all 9 days. And we're going to play some of it, and we're going to show pictures of some and just remember their voices. But that's what we're going to do. And through it, we're going to give you a little update and go through the names and some of the key testimony we received from each witness, in case you missed something, and in case you see somebody and think, I just have to see that again, and you'll know where it is, so you can keep notes. I'll try to tell you when we go from day 1 to day 2 to day 3, etc. So, well, hang on. Amber's on the phone. Hello, Amber.
Hello, Scott. I only have a couple of minutes, so don't ask me anything pertinent because I can't sit and chit-chat like I normally can.
Okay.
I wanted to just have you touch on the differences in the Discords for me, please, and kind of explain where the chatter can happen as far as casual conversation versus what that Pond Discord server is for.
Okay.
There seems to be a little bit of confusion. If you don't mind clearing that up for me, pretty please, boss man.
Yep, I'll try to do that.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Appreciate it. Bye, y'all.
Bye. See ya. Thank you once again to Amber, who works like 7 jobs, and she's a moderator for us and a million other people, including the as the Gavel Drops Discord page, which is we're closely partnered with, but I don't own. It's not my page, please. It is Amber's, and so if there's a problem, tell her, not me. But as the Gavel Drops page on Discord, which we do provide a link for in chat, is that is a page where you can access all the court documents, all the court dates, all the updates, the news stories, everything you could possibly want about every trial you could possibly think of here in the U.S. They track them, and they do an incredible job there. And it's all sorted. You can dig through, you can search, you can have conversations about it. There's great stuff over there that will fulfill all your true crime desires. If, however, you would like to call in on the program and talk over the airwaves of Discord with me on the show, I have a different Discord page, which we share when we say pond. So when we say pond right here in chat, then we get this link that says international viewers, no cost calls. That's Discord. You can jump in, and I would be there. And it's how Twin Tail Fox, who has great audio, and a couple other people have connected. And we've loved it. Let me pull it up here. Just one second. Discord. Go back. International calls. There. So it's that easy. I can just bring your voice in. If you want to do all the true crime stuff, like the documents, the finding videos, finding links to different recaps, you name it, anything you want, exhibits, watch party events, that's this other link over here. So just make sure there are 2 of them, and make sure you click on the right one. If you go to the first one, the Discord for True Crime that has the Gavel Drops page, and expect to find me in conversation in the chat room, I'm generally not there. I've done it a couple times, but I'm usually not there. You'll only be able to talk to me on the show here on our Discord. So hopefully that clears it up or muddies the water enough that you could figure it out on your own. So there we go. Anyway, this is my editing bay for the trial. And I'm going to bring this up full screen. Let's see. Somewhere I had full screen. That's not it. I think I have to be down here. Where did my full screen go? Oh, I need full HD. I'm blind. Why is it not working? Oh, I need to put media pool on. Then change this one to... It was here this morning. Let's go to the workspace, viewer mode, cinema viewer, full screen window. It's not as fun if I can't get this to work right, I promise. Am I just blind?
Even a blind
squirrel
finds a nut every once in a while. Even a blind squirrel finds a nut every once in a while.
Thank you. Playback, full screen, workspace, full screen window. Let's turn that one off. Hey, how's it going? Who's in Discord with me? And they're gone. I scared them off. Oh, it's the cinema viewer. That's why they changed the name. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to begin with the opening statements in this trial. Back up to the very, 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 very beginning with Mr. Bloodworth. And I sort of chopped this up a little bit because he buried the lead, right? He buried his name. He started with the story and then introduced himself halfway through. But we'll start with him introducing himself and then cut back to the story. So we're going to watch a little bit of this and then we're going to start speeding through it.
My name again is Brad Bloodworth. I am one of Summit County's criminal prosecutors who, along with Lindsay Shervinack and Fred Burmester, will present to you the state of Utah's aggravated murder case against Kouri Richins for causing the poisoning death of her husband and the father of her 3 children, Eric Richins. The state will also prove to you that 2 weeks before murdering Eric Richins, Kouri Richins attempted to murder him. And 2 weeks before that, by fraud and forgery, she took out an insurance policy on his life.
911, what's the address of the emergency? My husband's not breathing. He's cold. Okay, what's the address? 282 Willow Court. 282 Willow Court? Uh-huh. Okay, what's a good phone number in case we get disconnected? 437 4987. Okay, it's going to be in Francis. Okay, tell me exactly what happened. I don't know. I just came in. I was sleeping with my kids. Okay, I can't understand you. I need you to take a deep breath. What's going on? I don't know. I was sleeping in with my kids. I just came in our bed, and I turned over, and he's just cold. He's just cold. Who's cold? My husband. I turned the light off. And he's not breathing? No. He's not breathing? No. I need you to confirm it for me. Is he not breathing? No. Okay, can you do CPR? No. I don't know how. You don't know? I'm going to tell you how to. Are you willing to do CPR? Yeah. Okay.
Those were the sounds of a wife becoming a widow. Now, there is one piece of good news as you evaluate this evidence and the facts in this case. There is some good news for you. There are going to be a lot of facts that we actually agree on that we're not even going to challenge. We'll just be like, yeah, that happened. Hopefully that's going to help the case move a little faster for you guys. But interestingly, even though we're not going to dispute the facts, we sure are going to dispute what the facts mean. Sometimes you can look at the same facts and see two very different results. Let me show you what I mean. Katie, can you put up slide 12? So look at this picture of a young woman in a fur coat. See it? Now look again. You see a witch? Nose, mouth.
Hold, please. This picture was first introduced in 1888, later adopted by I believe, a columnist who repurposed it and called it My Wife and My Mother-in-Law. This is an old picture. And I don't know why she went that far back. There are so many newer pictures that I think demonstrate this a little bit better. But it's funny that she went there. She went completely old school.
There's going to be times in this case where the state is going to discuss facts with certain witnesses, and they're going to show you the witch. And I'm going to take those same facts and those same witnesses, and I'm going to show you a widow.
Black widow.
At the end of the trial, if you can still see both faces, that's reasonable doubt.
I'm not sure that's correct legal advice. If you can see both faces, that's reasonable doubt. But that's where she went.
We're asking you to be courageous, to pay attention, to stand strong, and to hold the government to that burden that's on their table. Hold them to it. And at the end of this case, you will see Kouri Richins is innocent. She is counting on you to do your job. And the only proper verdict to return in this case, which we are going to ask you to return at the end of this case, is to find her not guilty on all charges. I think we're going to do it.
Now, I cut out about 3 hours worth of her open. Probably one of the longest rambling opens we've heard in a very long time. But I boiled it down to what she could have just said and sat down. But that was it. But here we go.
So, Your Honor, just to let the family know, so DJ and Ronnie cannot sit in for the trial. Miss Doreen can. We will let you know when you need to step out. And any other family members, Lisa can stay for the trial, and any other people can stay because there's no other witnesses we expect.
Did you hear that? And any other people can stay because there's no other witnesses we expect. We've basically got an abbreviated glimpse into the defense case and how many witnesses they have, and there are not many. Now, there are going to be some experts on the defense side. We know that. But as far as the family goes, there's not many experts that they expect to be here in trial. So interesting. That's why some of her family, Ronnie specifically, is not in court because he's expected to be a witness as well as DJ. And then the whole part about we'll tell the mom when you can go.
I want to make clear to DJ and Ronnie, the fact that you can't be in the courtroom is the functional equivalent of an order that you cannot listen to the testimony or talk to anybody about it. So you cannot watch the live stream. You can't read reports or listen to it. You are ordered to not be exposed to the testimony in this case.
Also, Your Honor, I failed to mention Bree Darden. I don't think she's planning on coming. She has a newborn. She's not going to be up here anyway, but just in case she thought about coming, Bree cannot sit in on the trial, okay? That's it.
All right.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Any clarification there, Mr. Bloodworth?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Bloodworth, the state's first witness, please.
Thank you, Your Honor. The state calls Gene Richins. Did you know Eric Richins?
Yes.
How did you know him?
Eric is my son. I was very, very proud of him. Eric was their coach, but their father, but most important was their very, very best friend. He coached soccer. We both coached basketball. We both coached baseball with him. So we were constantly involved in all their activities.
Did he bring the boys to your ranch?
Constantly, yes. They were the oldest one loves to rope, so that was his thing in life, and liked to rope, and the other ones loved to just ride four-wheelers or whatever it may be.
Was Eric a good father?
Eric was an excellent father.
Sir, I don't have any additional questions at this time, but the defense may, okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
Ms. Nestor, please proceed.
Sir, we're very sorry for your loss, and we have no questions for you at this time.
All right, so Gene goes first as the first witness. He is Eric's dad. He talked about Eric's personality. He was outgoing, he's family-oriented. He had the relationship he had with his sons, his dedication to his sons, how he just did everything for them. The events on the morning of Eric's death, including arriving at the home and interactions with Kouri Richins. And then we go on to witness number 2.
Thank you.
After no cross.
Mr. Bloodworth.
Your Honor, the state calls Katie Richins Benson.
Mr. Bloodworth, please proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
What is your name?
Katie Richins Benson.
Do you know Eric Richins?
Yes, he was my brother.
Did you grow up with him?
Yes. We were only 2 years apart, so we were inseparable.
Did there come a time when Kouri Richins was consoling Ashton there and she was interrupted?
Yes. So Brianne Sorensen, which I believe was Ronnie, Kouri's brother's fiance at the time, I think they were engaged at the time, she came in to talk to Kouri. It was really interesting because Kouri was consoling, and then she immediately kind of stopped and focused on, they would call her Bree. And Bree started talking about the closing of the Midway Mansion.
Did you say, Your Honor?
How did Kouri react to what Bree said?
Kouri was very businesslike, very telling Bree exactly what to do, and I was dumbfounded. And I looked at Kouri and said, "You can't tell me you're going to close on that Midway Mansion when my brother just died." And she looked at me matter of fact and said, "Yeah, absolutely. He has nothing to do with it. The money's already gone through. It's all my business. I'm going to."
Did anything about that strike you as odd?
Yes, I honestly could not function. I couldn't even figure out what was for dinner that night. I had just lost one of the most important people in my whole entire life. And she was planning on selling the house that he had just been wheeled out of, closing on a multi-million-dollar mansion. I could not wrap my head around it.
Okay, so Katie, obviously not a big fan of Kouri. Katie was named as the executor on the trust. I think I'm saying that correctly. That Eric left. So instead of the wife being in charge of all the assets when Eric died, it all went into Katie's name for her to manage according to the trust rules. This became a hot topic very quickly as soon as Kouri found out about it, which was after Eric's death. And she found out that even the house that she was living in did not belong to her, and it technically belonged to Katie. It transfers to her in the trust, and that she manages and can do with it as she deems necessary according to the trust. So she could remodel, she could demolish, she could sell, whatever it is to perpetuate the goal of the trust, which was all focused on Eric's three boys and providing for them. So that was. She gets into some of the financial issues, the trust administration, and the post-death interactions with Kouri Richins right there, and it gets a little heated. Now we're gonna zip ahead a little bit because there's quite a bit. We've got some cross-exam. Next witness up after this one, after the break. Please hold. I think that was the lunch break that took us there. We're skipping some of the legal issues. They all got sorted out successfully. No mistrials yet. She spent a lot of time. Here's the next day right here. Back up. Sorry if I'm giving you guys seizures. This is going to be Clint Benson, who is Katie's husband.
This is it.
He's a realtor, a former owner of the Richins home. Like they owned it before Eric bought it.
Whatever's comfortable.
He testifies about some of the financial documents.
Mr. Burmester, please proceed.
The private investigator is the key
Can you
part.
please state your full name and spell your last name for the record?
Yes, Clinton Benson, Benson.
Sir, are you employed?
I am.
How are you employed?
I'm employed by Salt Lake County. I'm their real estate operations and asset manager. I manage their portfolio of 1,700 parcels and about a $5 billion portfolio.
Okay, so that seemed like just a little personal flex at the time. But having heard Kouri now brag in letters and in word and phone calls to other people about how big her portfolio is, I realized that he is slapping Kouri in the face with that comment, that he's just like reaching out and just smacking her back and forth across the face, saying, you are a nobody compared to me, which I didn't get initially. I thought he was just sort of saying what he did. I'll replay it real quick.
Her name is Estate Operations and Asset Manager. I manage their portfolio of 1,700 parcels and about a $5 billion portfolio.
Okay, Kouri's got 11 houses. Some of them are, I don't know, she calls them yotels. Some of them very small, but worth, she says, $11 million. On paper, much less. No live court today. Sorry, we're just doing a quick recap. But that the testimony we get from Clint Benson is mostly about, we start hearing about the private investigator that's called and some of the access to the home that the private investigator had. So Clint Benson's pretty good, but we're going to skip ahead to the next witness, who was our first officer on the stand, right? And this guy, he did like nothing wrong. He was a little hesitant on some of the answers, but he was just matter of fact. And he's from Summit County Sheriff's Office. He recounted the arriving at the home. He's the first to arrive, right? So he's talking about, what they did and the crews that arrived and the work they did and how he, kept people out of the hallway and away from the crime scene. Sorry. Oh, I need to go faster. Sorry, I'm on the slow speed. Okay, we're going to zip through. I didn't realize I was right there. Okay, quick little break. Breaks over. And, oh, it's still him. I thought it was quick. There we go. Here's our officer. This guy. Now listen, you tell me if this guy's like deserving of to being attacked. Ready?
Okay. 1-4D as in David is admitted. Delay. Okay.
Should be right away.
I think I know how to fix this. Give me just a moment.
We'll need to restart it.
Yeah.
I might want to play this video as well if we've got part of this.
We practiced this earlier. Give me just a moment.
Your Honor, most body cams, there's a 30-second.
That's what I thought too, but it sounds like they've edited around that.
Okay, so we'll fast forward. Okay, here's the tech stuff.
Can you find it and tell us?
That's the Lucas machine doing CPR on Eric. I want to show you what Kouri looks like at this time, so let's skip ahead a little bit. That's Eric that he worked on. Sorry, let me turn the sound off when I fast forward. That's not fun. Okay, here we go. Ready? Let's watch right here.
When you say we were fine, what time did you see him when he was alert?
We had a drink together at 9 to celebrate something at work tomorrow.
Okay.
We went to bed. I went to bed with my kids. He went to bed in our bed.
What time did you guys go to bed?
9:30.
9:30? Okay.
9:45.
And then what alerted you to him today, right now?
When I just woke up, when I sleep with my kids, I'll just wake up and I go back in my own bed.
Mm-hmm.
I just crawled over on his side.
And he was laying in bed? Okay.
He was on his back on the bed, and I just...
Okay. And he was on, you said he was on his back? Okay. Where are your children now?
One's asleep in that room, 2 are awake with their ear to the door. I go, whatever, go out, please somebody come out.
Where are the other 2 at that are awake?
The hallway bedroom.
And where's that at?
Right there, first one to your left.
Okay. Is there any family members we can call right now?
Yeah, I need to call my mom. I need to call my mom so bad.
Okay.
I think I don't know. 911's still on the phone. I don't know.
Here. Okay.
Okay, so this officer testifies that in watching Kouri, his interaction, he says, of all the hundreds of calls he's been on, Kouri was different. It just seemed different. Just kept her face covered, the way she acted. And he'd been on plenty of what they call a death call, where somebody's deceased. But it just wasn't normal. It wasn't right. So the body cam goes on. We get to see what happened that whole night through him. And Mom shows up. Let me see if I can get right here where Mom shows up. Okay, here we go. Mom shows up right here.
Okay. Has any prescriptions been filled the last 30 days?
That's the door.
No.
Just kidding. Get the door. It's DiGiorno.
Has he had a history of falling or anything? No. Any history of prescription abuse? No.
I mean, when he was in high school and stuff, yeah.
The shaking of the legs just is weird for me. Mom comes in with an armful of helpful excuses.
Or maybe a reaction to his shots yesterday.
There's Mom.
He just said he didn't feel good from them. Like,
he didn't look good last night.
He looked pale last night, and I asked if you were okay, and he said yeah, but he was saying his chest was hurting, but...
Does he have any history of illicit drug use or anything in the past year?
No, never.
Okay. Do you have the phone number to Herb, his doctor? I can't.
Okay, so while they're talking about that, let me tell you what I observe here and what I am taking away and what I think. Okay, Kouri's mom shows up and does not console Kouri, and I personally think it's because she knows Kouri is not mourning, that Kouri is not heartbroken, that Kouri is not suffering and in pain emotionally. I think as a mom, she saw that Kouri is, I don't know, giddy. And so there's no, oh honey, I'm so sorry, big hug, you cry on my shoulder, this is terrible. None of that happens. Instead, it's just like, let's see, he said, allergy shot. He said his heart was hurting him. Yeah. Did he mention he wants to be cremated? It's wild. It's wild. So I think Mom knew that Kouri did not want to be in the relationship, and so that might have been why. I'm not insinuating anything else, but there was a little touch. I wanted to show it. There was some contact. Boom, right there. That was it. All right, so we continue more. The sisters come over in the body cam and collapse on the floor and console. There's consolation going on right here where Kouri hugs Katie. Katie does not recall this on the stand when she testifies, but it did happen. And we go through the rest of the body cam, which is lengthy. We get the statement from Kouri Richins, from the police report from this officer, who basically asked for Kouri to write this all down, and she puts the story in there, pretty consistent to the story she's told all along, and And then Mr. Ramos gets up. Let me see if I can do this here. Is this the right part?
Crime scene log.
Questions about these.
Okay.
1-4S3. 1-4. Are those still shots or screen
Trying to get
grabs
to the
from
end
the
of the
body
states.
camera we just watched?
Yes, it is.
1-4 S1 through 5 are we publishing the jury?
If we could, please.
Screenshots are published. These are the things that the officer said just looked strange. Her behavior was weird that night. Then Mr. Ramos gets up.
Do you recognize what kind of document this is?
I thought he got up. Back up instead.
That night at the home.
And a.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. Could you ask him to maybe
In the video that you were securing the scene, was that something else that you were doing?
Yep. Trying to get to the end of this, sorry.
And same question for drug paraphernalia. Did you see any drug paraphernalia in the home?
I did not.
And what would you done?
No drug
if you had?
paraphernalia.
Document where it was and relay it to investigations.
Give me just a moment.
Has been mentioned that during the body cam video, she said she didn't have a history. He didn't have a history except high school. Yes, that part she flip flops on a lot depending on who she's talking to. Here's Mr. Ramos.
Judge, before we get started the motion, as we were watching the video, I had what had previously been provided to defense, a transcript, and we've seen the transcript that was shown.
He's basically put it on his gloves right now.
Is this the same or different than 1-4T?
So, and I'll explain.
Or is it a partial?
So it appears to be sections, kind of clips. So as this was being presented, that's what I was going off of. I noticed that the transcript that was presented is different than what we have.
Come up for a second, yeah.
Judge's like, this not an open court. Just get up here. You got like 3 words difference, whatever. So we have a quick sidebar as I sort this all out.
Let's start off where we just left off. Ms. Shervinack was asking you questions about what it is that you did or what you would have done had you found certain things. Fair?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. And then he proceeds to let loose. Okay. So watch as we're going to zip ahead to when he starts performing, and Mr. Ramos is performing in this. Okay. There we go. You can see he's walking back and forth.
Reports you have, let me know what time you left.
It's not in there.
I don't recall.
Look at Ramos. He's got the jury's attention here, right? He's looking at the jury.
When you're done with a call, what happens to that video?
It gets uploaded.
Automatically?
Upon, I think that system, when we stop it and we go to the station, it uploads.
Okay.
Okay. And did you do that here?
Do it where?
In this.
He's getting a little bit more confrontational as it goes on here. And then
indicate that in my report.
So how would we know if that was even done?
Because Deputy Pimentel will possibly write his supplemental report that cover what he did.
Okay, so we'll ask when he's called by the state. We'll ask him. Now.
Oh, I forgot to show the little brown bottle. I forgot to show Ramos his little brown bottle.
Here's a thought.
It's on Twitter.
You don't search for gummies. And you would agree this whole environment's a traumatic environment?
Yes, it is.
Right?
Yes, it is.
Right.
For everybody. Correct?
Correct.
Yourself included.
Correct.
I mean, there's such a thing as secondary trauma, correct?
Correct.
So, let's give everybody some grace.
He says before he proceeds to rip this officer a new one on the stand. Let's give everyone some grace. Let me zip through because we don't have time to watch everything. Sorry. But we get some more objections. Mr. Ramos argues. Next up after this actually takes us to the end of day one. The Nagayan is still on the stand, so we continue cross-examination. But Mr. Nagayan, Patrol Deputy Vincent Nagayan, he talks about arriving at the scene, interactions with Kouri, body camera footage, initial scene documentation, and then it takes us up to day 2, which...
As I was saying, I say conversation.
Okay, I think that gets us to the end of this testimony. There we go. That's the end. We're on day 2 here. Next up, on day 2, he talks about responding to the home again. Kouri's voluntary statement, her emotional state, facing the hands, which seems abnormal, and securing the scene as well. Then we go on to Cameron. I think it's.
Do you mind stepping in front of Brittany? We'll get you sworn in.
Cameron Larson.
Yes, please.
She's an evidence technician with a medical examiner. Do
you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give in the matter before the court to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, subject to the pains and penalties of perjury?
I believe with her, this was her first day on the job. Like, this is her first crime scene, if I remember this correctly. Yes, it's pronounced Win, and I've always called it Nagayan. Miss Larston gets on the stand. She talks about the body bag procedures, how they're tagged, how they're sealed, how they're checked, how she, even though she was only just the technician, first time on the job, was tasked with checking for alcohol in the kitchen, doesn't look in the sink, looks in the garbage, finds the bottle of cock and bowl, whatever it was, ginger beer, I think it was, and coffee grounds, newspaper, doesn't search the drawers or the cupboards, and she basically says, knowing what I know now, in the future, I'll stick to my job, right? I wouldn't help with the investigation with the officers at all. So she's up, takes us to the first break. Next break, we have another officer by the name of Deputy David Pimentel. He's with the Summit County Sheriff's Office. He handled the scene security on March 4th. He created a medication log where he started the medication log and sort of just left it at the scene. He talked about compressions, medications, Narcan, noted Eric's position on the foot of the bed, informed Kouri of his death, mentions a suspected aneurysm due to blood on the mouth, and observed high blood sugar and no heart activity. But not a lengthy witness here. Does have a little bit of body cam. Next up is this woman right here, who is Sergeant Andrew. Margaret Offrit. Excuse me. Got ahead of myself. Margaret Offrit is a Park City advanced EMT. She performed life-saving measures on Eric on March 4th, including compressions, medications, Narcan. She's the one that noted the foot of the bed. The previous guy, he did the medication log, searched the bathroom for prescriptions, found 3 possible THC gummies, but found none. Did not search the kitchen or bedroom for drugs. So this lady does the suspected aneurysm, informs Kouri of Eric's that he passed, and it's also a short witness. So next up, Next up is Sergeant Andrew Krinich, C-R-N-I-C-H, from Summit County Sheriff's Office. He's a sergeant and volunteer firefighter. He managed airway during response on March 4th. He inserted the tube and noted blood. He searched the nightstand for medications, and he found, dun, 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 he found a pill bottle. And it's there's the nightstand, there's the cell phone, the wallet, the charger, the Apple phone. But he did find a pill bottle. I think we get to see that. Nope, we missed it. Hang on. The pill bottle was before. There's a safe. Somewhere there's a pill bottle. And yes, the pill bottle sort of got moved around a little bit. I think that's him in the back looking at stuff. Anyway, so we've got a couple crime scene pictures from that. Next up, we have more argument. Back and forth. Yay. That takes us to Mandy Mobley. She's the morgue clerk. Let's get her on there. She was a quick one. She's the morgue clerk from the Utah Office of Medical Examiner in 2022. She handled the body intake. She broke the seals, indicating that the body had not been tampered with between when it was bagged, tagged, and sent to the morgue, and then opened. She recorded the clothing, the medications, and ID, and she stored the medication bottles as evidence. That medication bottle, I believe, was never tested. It's the one that had the 2016 date, I believe, on it. But I don't think it was ever taken and tested, and that became an issue with the defense just a little bit. So next up, we're going to have Dr. Ulmer. Dr. Ulmer is the one who did the medical examination herself. She's the one that did the autopsy, the initial autopsy report, but she sort of wrapped it up early. She was retiring, and she's like, I want to finish this up. So she basically quickly finished up this report and sort of left it, and it later got revisited with a second report. But she performed the autopsy on March 4th, determined the cause of death. I'm not sure if it was actually on March 4th. I've got the notes but it might have been later. Natalie, thank you for the super chat. Glad to do the recap. This helps me as well. She determined the cause of death as fentanyl intoxication with 15 nanograms per milliliter, which is a toxic level. But she also said this has to go to a toxicologist. She's not the one to say, just how bad is that. She's like, here's what I found, but it goes to a toxicologist. The manner undetermined due to the investigation. She reviewed the history, Lyme disease, neuropathy, found no THC or in the blood. And she found fentanyl in the stomach, noted CPR, related broken ribs, and minor heart disease. He also had some issues with his lungs, but it wasn't deadly. Next up, Allison Christensen, who's the autopsy assistant. Let me have to zip through her because this one's a little bit lengthier. She talks a lot. She talks with her hands too, as you can tell. Let's see. There's another break. Still with the ME. Go through the report. This is the speed I watch things at, by the way, for those of you who are curious. Got another break after cross-examination, and here we go. Allison Christensen is the toxic. She handled the toxicology samples on March 5th, collected the blood, the eye fluid, the urine, packaged and shipped it via FedEx. Not a sponsor. So that's done. Quick witness. Explain the packaging. Next witness up is this lady right here. This is a fun one. This is Chelsea Gibson. Chelsea's the lead crime scene investigation, and this starts day 3 as well right here. She's the lead crime scene investigation technician with Summit County Sheriff's Office. She started on day 2 and continued on day 3. She had testimony on evidence collection and scene processing from the Richins home, talking about details on searches, items seized. This on day 3, court recessed at 10 a.m. Remember, because the judge had something to do, and then when he came back, he's like, "Wait, I still have something to do the rest of the day," and basically called it quits. So she started on day 2, testified all of day 3, which was very short, and then continued on day 4. I think it's day 2, day 3, day 4. I think that's what it did. Her testimony was interesting. It's we got the laser scan of the house, and I'm going to sort of walk us through that quickly. Okay, here we go. Let's back up. This is like a Faro scan, but they call it Matterport. It's the competition. You're going to see a lot of mounts in the house. These are, for the most part, trophies that were hunted in the United States. A few of them are exotic from other countries. But going in the front door of Kouri's house and turning to the left here, you pass the boys' room in here where the boys were, or one of the boys' room, another bedroom, and then the master bedroom after the shared bath, or the bath right there in the hallway. There's the master bedroom. The stairs there for a little dog to get on the bed. We zoom into the middle of the room. We look around. You can see there's a closet that passes through to a bathroom over there. And this is as we turn around through here, we're actually going to go in the closet as well and take a look. This is the wardrobe, everything as it was laid out at the time that they did this scan, which was after the fact. Then they go back into the hallway. There's another bedroom. You can look through here, pass through, either go upstairs, or you can go into the living room, which has more animals, bears. I'm not sure what that curly, is that Ibanez? I forget what that is, American bison, mounted on the wall. This is where the interview with Kouri took place in with the first night with Officer Wynn, right there on that couch. Going into the kitchen, that kitchen sink is where supposedly the alcoholic drinks were left, and the police just never looked at them on that first initial night. Eventually the cups got put in the dishwasher by the nanny or the maid or whatever they have, and so they got washed and can't be tested anymore. We've got the laundry in there, just finishing off the scan of the house. And I think, did they show the garage? I thought they showed the garage. They might just show pictures. Okay, we've got more images from the side of the bed from all this crime scene tech. In this testimony, at one point, there's a picture with Eric on the floor covered in a sheet before his body's removed, but after he's been declared dead. In this testimony, there's a point where the defense asks Chelsea if she came into possession of phone calls after Eric passed away. And Chelsea asked for clarification, and defense sort of asked the question again in sort of roundabout way, and Chelsea then asked for more clarification, but she used the words, "Are you talking about the jail calls?" At that point, Miss Nestor threw her hands up in the air. Let's see if I can get to that. Let's jump to Ms. Nestor. Is it right here? Nope, this is still direct. Still direct. A little bit of TVU time. Sorry, I'm having a prank call. I think it might be Selena. Hang on. Hello. Hello. I think it's a prank call. Okay, Chelsea's still on the stand. Is this the moment of the objection? I think this is it.
Hello?
Just waiting to see where the objection took place.
I'm going to sustain my own objection.
That right here. This is it. Ready?
For a while, were you downloading calls between Kouri Richins and her family?
Are you talking about jail calls?
Boom. Are you talking about jail calls? You can't say jail calls because of the judge's ruling. So let's back up and watch this one more time. Watch the reaction.
Richins and her family that you obtained recordings of.
Can you clarify?
on about a weekly basis there for a while, were you downloading calls between Kouri Richins and her family?
Are you talking about jail calls?
Your Honor, move to strike and need to approach.
I believe she was told not to bring it up, but the way the prosecution asked the question twice, she's like, I'm not supposed to talk about these, and you're asking me to talk about them. I think it was the prosecution's fault. The judge later, when he talks about this, mentions that he does not fault the defense with that coming out, but also denies the motion to have a mistrial. So that was fun. When Chelsea's done, let's see if we can get her off the stand here. Long break. I'm spinning this wheel for all it's worth. Okay, Chelsea's still on the stand. Lots of evidence. She's the lead evidence technician, so a lot of stuff came through her. We've got the pictures of the gummies. That was important. These gummies are from all over the place. Some are like packaged at home, and some are sold at like commercial packaging. But all right, Chelsea. Probably one of the longer witnesses. And then, here we go. Boom. Now we're to Dr. Brianna Peterson. This is day 4. She's a forensic toxicologist. She explained the toxicology processes, tested the samples that were collected from Eric, and she detected the fentanyl at 15 nanograms per milliliter, norephentanol, acetylfentanyl, ethanol, 900 milligrams, and quetiapine. She discussed postmortem redistribution, lethal fentanyl doses, and ingestion timelines, basically saying he had a very lethal dose of fentanyl in his system, and it killed him so quickly his metabolism could barely start breaking it down before he was dead, which is why his stomach had so much and there was so little in his blood. Who said this? This is so good. The longer you watch Scott, aka Recovery Addict, the more you learned what he meant to say as opposed to what he actually said. This is like, I want that on my obituary. All right, so Chelsea, done. Now we've got the toxicologist. When she finishes up, this is still on day 4. It takes us through to Frank Root. There's Frank on the stand. Frank is a Summit County Sheriff's Office detective. He collected the iPhone 7 from Robert Josh Grossman. Remember when he got the black and white phones, right? He transported the phones and noted that some were inoperable. The phones eventually got repaired and downloaded and scanned, but they come in. So that's all Frank was for at that time. Next, Chini Eng Tao. He is the digital laboratory technician. He used Celebrite to download data from 2 iPhones. Explained how unlocking with Gray Key works and parsing data like photos and messages. But he didn't give us the good stuff. He just was the in-between guy saying this is how we got it. And then one of the few beards we do get to see in this trial, up to Brian Holden. He's the Utah Bureau of Forensic Services analyst. He tested 19 items for fentanyl. None of them were positive. He did not test for oxycodone or hydrocodone. Another quick witness. And then we get to more argument. We get to Carmen Lauber. Here's Carmen. Carmen was a great witness. I really enjoyed watching her testify. Even though she has credibility issues because of a couple things. She has a deal with the state, for one thing, that is quite significant. When you have a deal, that's quite an incentive to say a certain thing. Her story had changed from what she had testified previously, but we liked her on the stand, and it was sort of brutal on the cross-examination. She was a former housekeeper. She continued from day 4 into day 5. She was cross-examined on the details of the drug deals. She talked about her relationship with Kouri, doing her cleaning work, how her drug court involvement, and that was just brutal, just dragging her through every failure she's ever had in drug court. Prior drug use and sales, she purchased pills for Kouri 4 times, 3 from Robert Crozier and 1 from Susan Kohler. She hid pills at the Midway home, forged service letters. Well, she asked for forged service letters saying that she did service at the ranch. Those got caught right away. She cooperated post-death after learning of fentanyl overdose, and she received immunity in 4 jurisdictions for her crimes. Continuing to the day 4 portion of her testimony, she was cross-examined on the details of the drug deals, including the number of purchases, 3 versus 4. Her memory, at times she would either misspeak, like I do, or would not remember correctly and had to stop and say, wait. When she was catching herself saying it one way, she'd say, wait, ask the question again, and then she would clarify it to be consistent with how she had testified most recently to the state. Let's see. She talked about pickup and drop-off locations, conflicting statements, discussed buying Blues and Roxy's, and believed them to be oxycodone. Now, she was buying a lot from this one dude who we're about to see. She takes on the stand for a long time. She was up there for quite a while. And almost in tears for most of her testimony. But once she's done, we're still on direct. You have to go through day 4 yet. There's the break. Here's the next day. I think once she's done, we get to go to Robbie, who was the person she bought from. So give us just a second to get there. I wonder if I could make this whole timeline available to you guys so you guys could get clips and stuff. I'd probably have to buy licenses for Blackmagic Design for all of you. Zipping along. Sorry, she was on the stand for a long, long time. It was a lot of testimony. Destruction. Oh, back up. I said we had Robbie, but we went from her to let's see, Carmen.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Anna Isbell. I got them order back.
Good afternoon, ma'am. What is your name?
Anna Isbell.
Do you spell your last name Isbell?
Yes.
Okay, so Anna Isbell testified about the interviews she had with Lauber and Crozier during drug transactions. Not a lot of testimony, not a long time. I think there was what's the text messages. Let's see if I can see those. Going back. Let's see. Okay. This is talking about the officer Driscoll texting and saying, so make your life easier and answer our calls so we can prep you on what will be asked. Otherwise, the next time I'll knock on your door, I'll have a warrant and a catch pull for the dog. She says, I don't need to be prepped. Give me the time and date. I will appear. It's on your subpoena, says the officer. She says, is there a more exact date, or do I need to be there February 23rd through March 26th, which was the window for the whole trial? And he said, we could have discussed that if you ever replied, but since you don't want to, you can just plan on showing up every day at 8 o'clock. So Officer Driscoll is a bit of a donkey in his interactions with people. And this is going to be interesting because Officer Driscoll is the last witness for the state. We're going to see him on Monday or possibly Tuesday as well. But this is, who did I say that this was? She's not an investigator. Did I say investigator? Oh, my goodness. I typed that wrong. She's not an investigator. She was also asked about the drug transactions. Next, we're going to get to Robbie. Pink shirt. Here's Robbie. Robbie is an interesting witness. Robbie was the drug supplier who drove down from northern Utah, Ogden area, down to the Draper Maverick and would meet up with Carmen to pass the drugs along. Robbie's story matches up with him giving Carmen about double the amount of pills.
Comparing apples and orangutans here.
That Carmen says she got, but for about the same amount of price that Carmen says she spent. So it appears that either Robbie is lying, which I don't think he would have reason to lie about the amount of pills he gave, because either one is felony. But it doesn't make it seem that Carmen and her friends would skim off the order and take pills from what what Kouri was purchasing. She was paying for a lot more than she was getting. Content warning because someone called someone a donkey. Yes, so I called Driscoll a donkey. He's a pain in the butt. He's just mean to people, telling people that if you don't do what I say, I'm going to take your dog and have it basically put your dog down, drag you off to jail in handcuffs. She's a witness in a trial. She's not the suspect. She's a witness. Anyway, Robbie was an interesting one. He has changed his story. He has a deal, but he has changed his story probably for his benefit, where he says now that the Roxys he was selling back at that time period were not the ones that everybody else had that had fentanyl in them. He was just selling the pure stuff, the oxycodone. He took issue with the signed affidavit, the sworn affidavit that he provided, because he signed it and it said OxyContin. And everywhere it said OxyContin, he says, no, it was oxycodone. Oxycodone being the prescription grade and OxyContin being the street drug. So I'm guessing it's just a matter of pride for him to say that he was selling the good stuff, the prescription stuff. And obviously, if the stuff he was selling was not the fentanyl stuff, and there was a lot of fentanyl in his system, then that would mean that he's not in any way responsible for the death of Eric as the seller of the drugs, because his didn't have fentanyl. So a little bit of that was interesting. We once we got through Robbie, who was a character and a half, sort of interesting to watch. Let's see. Once we got through Robbie, let me back up. Holy cow, we just went fast. I didn't know I could do that. How did I skip so much? Let's go back to did I put it in the wrong order? Okay, there's the ME, toxicologist. There's Robbie. Right after Robbie, we have a break. Let me show you what it looks like. Robbie's going to step down. The state's going to call his next witness. This next witness, I'm not even going to give you the name, but it's a witness who was an undercover cop. That undercover cop was testifying about his interactions, with doing undercover work here, and then we got the feed cut, and it went something like this.
Ms. Lewis? No, Your Honor. Okay, we'll be in recess until 2:45. Thank you.
Okay, recess is about over. Recess is over. Judge says, call your next witness. Wait for his head to appear here. I'm making you dizzy. That was way too fast. We've got 9 days to go over.
Let's invite the jury in, please.
The jury comes in. I'm going to speed this up a little bit.
All right, have a seat. Ms. Shervnak, the state's next witness. Grace,
Yes.
can I have a word?
So right there. Grace is with Court TV. She's the producer on site. She does travel around to produce these shows. She stays there for the duration of the trial. But they called the next witness. The witness was testifying for, 10 minutes. And then the judge is notified that this is going out. Grace walks up to the front. She's right there. Witness is just off the, we're going to keep him off the screen as much as we can here. I think we do. There he is. So there's witness's shoulder. The judge says, I'm going to order.
Firm. Court TV, I need you to stop recording and transmitting from this point forward until I tell you differently. Okay. I apologize for interruption. For your benefit.
No. Okay. So, for your benefit, he says to the witness, because the witness is undercover. Let's see. Joey Baseball says, so every media just uses Court TV's feed. Let me explain how it works, Joey, because that's a great question. In courts, the judges for almost every court do not want a room full of cameras, like at a press conference. They don't want 50 microphones, 50 cameras, all the hustle and bustle of all the production going on, the cords and everything else. And so what they do is they say, yes, media is welcome, but you have to pool together. There will be one camera, or in this case, 2 cameras allowed in the courtroom. And there is one company or one media representative that will provide that, and they have that representative has to share that media output, the video they collect, with all the people who are interested. So we file as a media company through Topmark Media for access to that media pool, and we're granted that. And then in this case, Court TV, who was given the media pool position, provides for us a private link directly to a clean feed without any logos on it or anything else that we all have rights to use. So yes, we get Court TV's feed because they in this case are the pool camera. Sometimes it's a news channel that's a pool camera. Sometimes it's law and crime. Sometimes it's somebody else. I am set up that I can be the pool camera. I could provide this feed for other people. It just depends who is selected for the case, and that's how it works. So yes, they all share, all the media shares. Sometimes, like in the past, in this very case, like in some of the hearings that went down leading up to this, we've been there in person to connect our hardware directly to the splitter, so we get the camera feed directly, and then I use my live view to transmit it back to YouTube. In this case, Court TV, which is now purchased by Law and Crime, provides their own transmitter, puts it up on a private web link that we have access to the live feed that way. So that's how it works. All right. That takes us through the witness who provided the details about the interactions with Crozier and Lauber concerning pill sales. Interesting on the cross-examination, which we did not see. We found through, do we have to pay anything for that? Sometimes we do, and sometimes we don't access. It varies. When I have to do it personally and send my own equipment, it can run $300 a day for access to court, and sometimes it's free. So yeah, it can be a little steep. We have our own equipment. Running our own equipment is very expensive. Having an operator, camera operator, and somebody to run that can be very expensive. We've partnered with some other channels to get that done. People that were local, sent them equipment, and so I paid for the equipment, and they basically pay for the personnel and split it that way. But it's a little bit of an ouch. But we love it. It's what we do. All right. So after that, the last witness is Marcos Oh wait, I was going to say the undercover agent we heard from our in-court watcher on cross-examination sort of bungled it because he was testifying that those blues were fentanyl and how much fentanyl they had. He had no clue about any other color of pills and the amounts of anything in any other pill. It's like the only thing he had studied on was the blues. That was it, and he was just a blank slate when it came to everything else, which sort of counts against his credibility. But good job on the defense for bringing that out. That was impressive. Last up. This is going to be Marcos Garekokia. I cannot say his name right. All right, thanks.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Sir, if you could state your name and spell your last name, please.
Yep, my name is Marcos Garagachia. My last name is spelled Garaycochea.
Okay, what he testified to was about the drug supply chain linked to Kouri. And that finished out day 5. So that finishes day 5. Then we start day 6. Let's see who's on the stand. We argue some stuff first, day 6. First witness comes in is after the break. Long break. Okay, here we go. This is going to be Chris Kotradimos, who's a digital forensics expert. He analyzed the cell phone data, linking Kouri to the witnesses like Lauber and Crozier. He detailed the communications with texts and calls on drug deals dated February 11th. He talked about the 34 texts between Kouri Lauber, the 50 between Lauber and Crozier, how those texts went like super high frequency during the transaction and where they came together on the map and then left. Mapped the locations, discussed the phone unlocks, the steps, the biometric data, validated the Cellbrite information, noted Kouri's blue iPhone text to Grossman about activating her mom's phone. And I'll show some of his charts really briefly. Oh, that's all. I keep hitting the button that says go from like 50 times speed to 500 times speed. Need to disable that. So that takes us day 7. Day 7 is Brooke Carrington right here. Okay. Brooke Carrington is the forensic accountant. This lady is unbelievable. If you watch, we can skip to any portion of the trial, and she although she's talking about documents, she never has to open her notes. She never has to refresh her recollection. She talks about all the numbers, and by numbers we're talking about loan amounts and debt, and she's tracked down everything. She's chased every rabbit and connected all the strings, and she has it all in her head, like and confidently too. I want to see if I can get to the point where she's questioned by. She's on the stand all day. Okay, there we go. Start back up. Some of what she focused on here was the source of funding that Kouri got for her loans, where she had primary lenders initially, and then as things went on, she was focusing more and more on riskier loans, right? With people that have steeper terms, more aggressive collection schedules, and balloon payments at the tail end of the loan. So Kouri had expended all her usable assets. I mean, she'd used up all her credit that she could at each level of the typical loan and the mortgage, the bank mortgage and things like that. And once that was out, she had to go to these next level, like the payday loan type lenders. And then she's going to these hard money lenders that have payments where she was paying tons of money on a daily basis back to these loans with still a huge balloon payment in 3 months. She bought a $3 million house with a loan that was a 6-month balloon payment loan.
I'm trying to have court. You don't raise your voice.
We missed witnesses and confused them. Which one? I skipped. What day did I skip? Let me go back. 5. Day 6. I skipped a bunch. Oh my goodness. Where's my day 6? All right, day 6 starts with defense objecting to 2 witnesses, the state expert and Todd Davis. They end up not calling Todd Davis, and the expert comes in. That's Dr. Eric Christensen. So I did skip. I missed everybody up. Okay, so there's the objection. Have a little break. Then we get Todd Davis in. Sorry, I'm completely messed up on these ones. Todd Davis, no, day 6, Dr. Eric Christensen. Oh, okay, sorry. This is the medical examiner. You're absolutely right. This is the guy that Kouri called and had the conversation with to clarify the second autopsy report. And he testified about that phone call, and that phone call was recorded by Kouri. So it gets to a point where they play a tape. Let's see if we can find it here. Right here. This is the phone call, and it's actually got video on it because Kouri recorded just like a video on her phone, and the audio captured on another phone, the speakerphone call of her interaction with Dr. Christensen as she's asking all these questions. And she asks about specific drugs and what it means. What's notable in this call is that she nails the pronunciation of a lot of the drugs, and then on her second guess gets it wrong. Like she's pretending she doesn't know what it is, but she got it right the first time. So that was first. Then after, let me see if I can go full screen again. Control F. That'll do it. Then after him, well, it just went black. Okay. After him, we got Molly Crosswhite on the stand. Molly Crosswhite bought the Midway house, the cute one, which was the first one that was sold. Let's zip through and get to Molly really quickly. Nope, this is Crozier. Molly was really quick, I think. She bought the Midway house. The renters moved in March 30th. The lease started March 1st. The home was unoccupied from January 1st to March 30th. The key was kept out on the front porch under the lock. Where's Molly? It was before this. Nope. It's got to be after. Did I write her down in the wrong order? Okay, we've got the interview with, we had the interview with Rob. Then there's Molly. Molly bought the house and explains about the key. This is a cute house. It's a cute little house. It's an old house that it's the first one that Kouri rehabbed, and she made a profit on this one. I think she made $47,000 flipping this house, but it was also one that was used, the fire pit in the back and everything was used for the drugs. Okay. So there's Molly, little cross-examination. Next up, we have Allison Wright. Cody is her husband. This is a partner in, this is the partner's wife. So let me see, where's Allison? I'm trying to remember what she testified to, and it's not off the top of my head. I think she talked about the agreement in the business a little bit, how it functioned, who worked there and when. Not a lot of questions for her. after Allison. Then we have the first appearance of Officer Driscoll, and it's short, but he'll be back again. Well, Allison's still up. More questions direct. Huddle, and then Officer Driscoll, right? Okay, here we go. Boom. Here's Driscoll. Here's the beard. I don't like this guy. I'm sorry. I think that officers have a lot of power and authority, and when they use it and get really pushy, I'm not a fan of that. I mean, if you push an officer back first, then yeah, it's game on. Basically, Ari remembers only the forensic accountant. Thanks. Yeah. He's the donkey. This is the one I don't like. He sounds insufferable. We are going to hear a lot from him. I think there's plenty of stuff that the defense has on him that makes him look not nice, and we're going to hear more. So after Officer Driscoll, then we get to, let's see, this is Chris Kotradimos, right? Digital forensic, is that right?
One phone belonging to Eric Richins.
Yeah. Chris Kotradimos analyzed the cell phone linking Kouri to the witness Lauber, or to Lauber and Crozier. I'm going to zip through and see if we can show some of those on the screen, because he had some pretty good maps and illustrations of that, how that happened. Let's see. That one's not the best, but the one with the map was better. Links the phones. Okay. He shows the locations, the phone calls, the times. He shows the map, right? And this, when he's playing this, he's showing that the call is going from one party to the other party. He puts pins on the map to show where the phone was, or where the cell phone tower that each phone was connecting to at what time. And he basically covers the conversation from Kouri to Lauber, from Lauber to Robbie Crozier, and Robbie doesn't really call Carmen very much, but from Carmen back to Kouri, and you can play it out on the map and see the time frame of how it happens, and he does a really good job of playing this out, and it really draws the connection, especially when you get to here where both of them appear at the same Draper. Basically the cell tower is right across the road, right across the freeway from the Draper Maverick, where they testified that they did the deal. And it's a bunch of calls, right? There's a lot of them. So the very good technical testimony that really did connect everything together. He finishes up day 7. So that's all of day 7. And then we go to day 8 right here. Day 8, I think we start with Lashana Rogers. If we can get to the start of trial. There she is. Lashana testifies. She's the New York life insurance employee. She explained the beneficiary changes on Cody Wright's policy. Cody was the partner for Eric, and she explained that the beneficiary changed from Eric to Kouri, back to Eric, and then back to Kouri on the policy, which was just weird because this policy was put in place as part of the business structure and their going forward plan. It had to be there. It means if one person dies, this policy would pay out. Then the surviving partner would use that money to pay the trust of the partner who had passed away to buy them out of the business, and that would allow them to keep the business going, and they would be a full owner at that point. So the policy changing to make Kouri the recipient on that would completely just nullify the whole business plan, and legally it had to be there. So that the reason this comes in is because it shows that Kouri was the one making these changes. Eric would not have made that change because it nullifies the whole business structure. Kouri would not have made those changes because same reason. No one else had reason to change or access to change that except for Kouri. And so when other changes are attempted to be made, and we see some of the insurance fraud stuff going on, it sort of makes sense as to where it started from. So LaShonda is up. She talks about some of the interactions, interesting for the defense, benefit for them, or a good bit for them. A lot of the interactions they had, including setting up one of these policies, happened through Kouri's email, and it was communication to Eric. So Kouri's email was what was used to set up this account. And we see the policy and the payouts. And then I completely turboed again. We're still on day 8, right? I wish that button wouldn't do an exponential faster scan. We go to another life insurance witness. This one after LaShonda. Let's see, LaShonda got off the stand right here. There's LaShonda. After her, we go to this gentleman here who's a life insurance salesman. He's Freckleton, from Brian Freckleton from Freckleton Financial Group owner. He's the one that set up the policy with Eric and Cody, $500,000 term life insurance in 2007, and then they added some policies. They had $2 million policies each, and he talks about the C&E Masonry agreement and investigated the changes that were done because he was alerted when that policy switched beneficiaries. After him is another insurance rep. This is Anna Coates. She's a senior claims manager. If we get to her. Hello, Anna Coates. Anna processed Eric's claims for the 250 and the 100,000 policies that paid Kouri. She showed the proof, the check, the payments that went through. Kouri was all over that, getting payment. And she got the $251,558.82 in June 2022. And then another policy was, I think, paying out at a different time. But they paid out, and we got to see a check that showed they did. There's a policy summary for the $100,000 one. And the check, the canceled check was there, trust me. Lots of texts. There's the 1099 INT. There's the voided check that she used to set up the payment into her America First credit account, so the money went right to her. And $100,000 sign up. Next up, after Anna Coates, this would be Christina Miller. This is, I believe, the divorce attorney. Do I have this one right? Let's listen.
And she would know as much as I did at the time with regard to some basic information.
Let me rewind and see, make sure we've got the right person here. Okay. Listen real quick.
Ms. Shervanek, please proceed.
Yes, Your Honor. Good morning, ma'am.
Morning.
If you could state your name and spell your last name, please.
Christina Miller,
Miller. She's the divorce attorney. She met with Eric in October 2020 for a consultation requested by the brother-in-law. She discussed custody, support, $33,000 monthly child income was claimed. She referred him to estate planning and made special mention of the fact that Eric was very particular in how her communications should be towards him, and it would go through his sister, and not so Kouri wouldn't be called, but there was one time she, I think, accidentally called Kouri. She noted that in consulting with Eric about divorce, and they started talking about custody, the light bulb, the desire for divorce, just the light bulb went off in Eric. He did not want to share his kids, or he did not want to have days where he didn't have his kids with him, which, it goes to a lot, speaks to a lot. So that was Christina on the one side. Then we have the estate planning attorney that she referred Eric to. She's up next. And that is, come on, right here, I think. Nope. This is... This took us to day 9. We need to be way back here. Jumped an extra day. There she is. There's the estate planning attorney. This is an interesting one. This was Crystal Bowman Carter. Interesting fact, Crystal Bowman Carter, after she got off the stand, she filed a notice with the court that she actually had a scheduled appointment with either one of the jurors or the spouse of one of the jurors. She's a divorce attorney. Scheduled, and it was scheduled before the trial began, but she saw what, basically when she was notified of what happened, they said, let's put that off and meet later. So that the appointment was put off. So that was raised. Defense asked a question. The schedule came out. She scheduled the appointment before trial began, and they're okay with that. So it became nothing. But it's a little connection there to the jury that she had to make the court aware of. She also she prepared Eric's trust and will with Katie as the trustee. She detailed the premarital agreement, the buy-sell agreement with C&E, where if somebody dies, the other partner would buy out the other partner using the insurance money. Eric's concerns about Kouri misusing the power of attorney in emails. Eric was also worried about Kouri finding out about some of the things he was doing financially. She opened the probate post-death and communicated with Kouri. She's the one that communicated with Kouri one time, I believe. Next up, we go straight to the boyfriend, and this was something else. Ready? Let's let her get off the stand here really quickly. Little break. This was nuts. This was absolutely wild. Let me go to the very beginning to show you how we thought it was going to begin. He walks in, and we thought that this was just going to be a nightmare witness, of the Sovsit type or something. But let's give him a minute to get in here.
Will you bump Ms. Osterloh for me?
Will you bump Miss Osterloh for me? Was somebody sleeping in court? Jury comes in.
Folks, please have a seat as you come in. Please have a seat. Mr. Bloodworth, the state's next witness, please.
Your Honor, the state calls Robert Josh Grossman.
Okay, so watch this. I'll try to crank the volume up so you can hear what Robert says to the clerk as he's beginning to be sworn in. So let's give him just a minute. They mute the mics when the lawyers can be overheard conferring with each other. We're not supposed to be able to hear that, so good work to the audio person. Robert Grossman is Kouri's boyfriend. There he is.
Mr. Grossman, good afternoon. If you'd step in front of Brittany, we'll get you sworn in.
Will you please raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give in the matter before the court to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, subject to the pains and penalties of perjury?
What do you mean by the whole truth?
Sir, do you swear to tell the whole truth under the pains and penalties of perjury, yes or no?
I won't lie. I'll tell as much as the truth. I need to. In this setting, I assume all the questions on.
Stand right there for a moment, if you don't mind. Can I invite you folks to take a walk for a moment? Please rise for the jury.
Judge invites Mr. Grossman. You can tell in his voice the judge probably read him wrong. Okay?
Just pause for a moment.
He's like, zip it, don't talk. Jury out. I read him wrong. I thought, for sure, he was going to be like, I'm my own man. I'm the living man. You know, I'm here by special appearance and everything else.
If you don't mind.
But the judge handled this really well.
Mr. Grossman, do you understand the difference between what's true and what's not true?
I do.
Do you promise, under the pains and penalties of perjury, to tell the truth when you're asked questions?
Absolutely.
Anything further, Mr. Bloodworth?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Lewis?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Would you bring the jury back in?
All right. Well, they bring the jury back in and begin the questioning. We do have Legally Blonde on the phone. Legally Blonde, can you hear us?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
We can. How are you doing?
Okay, perfect.
Happy Friday.
Oh, living the dream.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, you too. Okay, so I have watched this guy's testimony like 3 times because I'm really struggling.
Mm-hmm.
I do feel bad. Like, I felt bad watching him. I don't necessarily feel bad for him, though. But I was wondering, what do you guys, when he inquired about the whole truth, is this an intelligence thing? Do we think it was because he had he had something he wanted to tell and that was like his, like, I'm going to say what I want on the stand? Like, well, I made an oath. Or was it because he had things to omit and he was questioning if he omitted things, if it would be, like, if that would be a problem?
I think it could have been a couple of those things. First of all, I think this was probably his first time in court.
Yeah, or ever seen court.
Yeah, he's not the guy that watches Law and Crime. He doesn't watch Law and Order. He doesn't watch, even the Perry Mason stuff. So this was all new to him. And I think part of that was literally, what do you mean when you say the whole truth? Asking, do I have to tell the whole story? I only know what I know, right? That was part of it, but it also...
Oh, I didn't consider that. That's good.
We also have from him, as he's making comments, as he's asked questions, and he's pained in answering them, right? He's like, he's trying to say something that the question isn't allowing him to say. He's like, can I explain this? There's something I want to say. There's something I came here to say as well, and I'm not being asked it, and you're dancing around it. So it could also have been, when you say the whole truth, do I really get to tell my part? So it could have been both, but I think mostly it was just unfamiliarity with court was the majority of that, and unfamiliarity with the oath, swear an oath to tell the truth. But he did there to the judge say, I'm going to tell the truth, and the honesty and sincerity he came with that. He carried when he said that, convinced the judge, and he's like, I'm okay with it, even though the hand wasn't raised when he did it. Not sure if that's an issue,
that's true.
But the judge's like, you're under oath. That counts. What you've done, you promised me that you're going to tell the truth, and it can be considered as under oath.
And I do think, as far as like the personal or like the lay witnesses go, he was the most believable to me, even like compared to Katie, who I believe Katie believes what she's saying, but I believe Katie she is blinded by hatred for Kouri. And I do think that clouds her judgment a little. I'm not saying she wasn't, I don't think she was wrong, but I do think it clouds her judgment. So it was kind of hard to take her for everything, but he seemed the most credible of the lay witnesses until we got to the other friends, in my opinion.
I think why he seems so credible is because he sort of doesn't have a filter, and he kept sort of saying out loud what he was feeling or thinking.
Yeah.
And so
he wears
when he's
everything on his sleeve.
Yeah, when he sees the messages, well, he's like, oh man, oh boy, here it goes. Oh, and and so I've got him muted, but we're just gonna watch his body language.
Yes.
As
good idea.
As he goes around, he's moving around, he's shifting. He spins in his chair, moves the water bottle. He's playing. You can know he's not comfortable, right?
He killed like 4 of those water bottles, man.
he was drinking a lot. But when this is okay. I mean, he's a little bit of shaking, a little bit of blinking and twisting. We've seen that in a couple witnesses as they do this. The swivel chair thing, they make use of it.
Right.
But when it gets to the text messages, and we're going to see those in just a minute here, as he starts testifying about things like that, the text messages, that's when the body language really starts, and he starts shifting, knowing what they're about to cover. I mean, he's turning his chair, arm over the back of the chair. At one point, he takes his head and puts it down on the witness table.
Yeah, he does.
And I mean, he's looking down.
Lots of heavy breathing.
Yeah.
So I felt like the text messages showed an interesting side of Kouri that I think the sisters picked up on. And I think that part of, she has like this push-pull thing, where like she dangles the carrot and he comes chasing after it.
And then she beats him with a stick.
Yeah. And then he is a wounded dog, and then he backs off. But as soon as he backs off, she's back to dangling the carrot. And I think that was also playing out in real time in the courtroom. He is so easy to read, and he is so vulnerable that, I mean, anything just kind of triggers him in one way or another. And, she, at first when he came in, she was all puppy dog eyes, and then there's and then all of a sudden she doesn't care. She's snacking.
Yeah.
She pulls him in, and then even in the courtroom, I feel like she was doing this. I made this reference yesterday. I think Kouri is the human equivalent of a black hole. Mm-hmm. Black holes, they, just in general,
like scientifically and everything.
She's anything that gets close to her, she sucks it in. She makes a vortex, so things get crazy, and then they're spaghettified, and then it's just a vast nothingness.
Yeah.
And the more she gets, the more she wants, and she's wild. She's wild. She's a human black hole. If you get close, you're gonna get sucked into a vast nothingness and be left with nothing.
Interesting. It's some strong language, but you can.
I'm not a doctor, but I can make a metaphor.
Wow.
I won't diagnose her, but I will say she's a human black hole.
Yeah. What we saw from all the body language, and it doesn't take a body language expert to read Mr. Grossman, right? I think we could all see exactly what he was going through and what he was feeling as he went through this. He faults himself, right? He acknowledges, he wanted to say sorry for what he had done. Basically, he had a relationship with a married woman, and because of that, or as part of that, there was pain and hurt and trauma, and I think he sort of blames himself that, he asked the question, maybe if this hadn't happened, would they have been happy? Maybe, was I some of the cause for this impetus for this killing, this death? So I think he's got that question that floats around in his mind. But
well, if he watches the rest of the trial once he's allowed, I believe he will see that she was on some BS before she ever met him. Mm-hmm. Maybe that'll help him feel better. But listen, I really don't feel bad for him. You cannot go fishing in another man's tank and be mad when you catch drama and trauma.
A carp.
Yeah. It's pretty much guaranteed. Mistresses always get the short end of the stick.
Yeah.
Period. And I do have one last question before I go. Okay.
What's that?
As far as the financial crimes go, so you know how she bought him 2 trucks actually, but So she bought him one, and then she gave it to her mom. Do you think she wrote that off on her taxes as a business expense?
If she filed them, possibly.
And then, like, she was able to buy her mom a car, but write it off with the business expense? Because, I mean, that's wild.
It's weird.
They knew each other. How long was he out there before he got his second truck?
I think it was only a few months. He had the truck for a few
That's
months. Then she
wild.
took it, gave it to her mom, then got her a different one. Got him a different one. But
That's wild. In my head, he's like a construction savant.
let me.
Like, I just want his work to just be impeccable.
I've gone through and looked at all these emails, and every time they use this little emoji or the other one, you know, there are two emojis that are sort of like a yin and yang that way. It's basically the wink wink, you know what I mean type talk. So if you that's the and other things, or that's when they put that in to keep it clean for the kids. So if you care to go through and wonder what they're talking about, watch every time they put that in there, and they're talking.
It's like their secret little lima bean and pea in my pod language.
I wasn't going to use those again. I was skipping that.
Okay, come on. Who wants to be known as a lima bean? Like, I'd rather be called a Brussels sprout. Are you kidding me right now? It's so
I'd take a
gross.
turnip over a lima bean, but yeah.
Any day. All right, that's it.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Anyway, thanks a lot. We'll see you, Legal One.
Yeah.
Bye. All right. So finishing out this testimony, this was heart-wrenching to watch. You know, he blames himself, and, you know, he does have himself to blame. But on and off romance with Kouri starting around the time of COVID. He followed her to Utah from, I believe, South Carolina just to work with her. Had hopes that things would be okay, that things would work out, that she was getting a divorce, that they could be together, and it even though he never could really visualize it happening, possibly because of how Kouri was in the relationship and what she was committing to and what she wasn't willing to do. But she did meet with, or Kouri did meet with him post Eric's death. Up in the Uintas, they had a conversation, and where Kouri asked him, have you ever killed anyone? Talking about his time in service in the military. And he responded, it's sort of given that he responded yes, that he, in the affirmative. And then she was asking, you know, what's it like? How does it make you feel? Or what is that? How has that changed you? Sort of those sort of questions. Josh says the conversation was didn't seem out of place because they had just experienced something supernatural, and I don't know what it is, but the Uintas is a great place to experience something supernatural. So I'm really curious as to what that was. But Robert Josh Grossman stays on the stand for the rest of the day. He does testify about payments from Kouri, that $25,000 that he received. He says was from basically money owed for work that he performed for Kouri for some of these houses, and that was about right. It didn't seem like a huge buyout, cash out, you know, hush money, anything like that. It was just she paid sometimes here, a little there, sometimes lump sums. That was just the kind of work. She kept him in money, or with enough money for what he needed, and then payments came, you know, at varying times. But a highly animated witness on the stand, really made use of the whole witness box. So let's skip ahead to day 9, which was yesterday. If you missed day 9, at the end of this, well, he's completely torn up inside. Kouri's having a donut or whatever it is. I don't know what she was eating, but just getting a little lunch. And so we start day 9, which was yesterday, with Marie Bramwell. So let's jump ahead just a little bit. It's crazy. More water. Cross-examination. All right. Okay, here we go. Marie Bramwell is a domestic relations attorney. She met Kouri in May. They exchanged emails in May of 2021 through January 2022. Kouri paid the deposit, which is like $5,000 to her, basically to secure her services. And she just does like high-end divorces. All these Park City attorneys only do high-end divorces where there's a lot of money involved. Kouri pays the check, $4,725, or $5,200 there. The money gets returned back to Kouri because she decides not to go through with it. So she gets a reimbursement there and does not follow through with the divorce, possibly because Kouri knows that there is this prenup that says, if you divorce me, you get nothing. Zero, zilch. Good day, sir. And so she does not follow through that way with getting out of the relationship in the traditional manner. Next, we go up to Becky Lloyd. So once that one's done, let's get Becky on the stand. Hold tight. Couple arguments. All right, call the next witness. Oh, this is a phone call. This was a fun phone call. Oh my goodness. Let's play this really quickly. The judge says you can only consider the Kouri's part of this for any purpose. Let's listen a little bit.
Obviously.
Who fucking cares?
I know. I'm just like so annoyed by that. Like, I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? Like, who gives a shit?
Yeah.
Obviously, if one party's going to do it, the other party's probably going to do it to see what the fuck.
They're talking about going to see a divorce attorney. Kouri finds out that the prosecution has found out that she went and saw a divorce attorney. And so she's upset, but at the same time, she's justifying her actions here. And that's basically this whole premise of this conversation.
And it's
like common sense.
Regarding your side of stuff, nothing came out of that. What came out of the other side?
Exactly.
Oh, an illegal transfer of everything.
Yes, exactly.
A lot came out of that.
Yes, I just went in for a consultation. That was it.
Yep.
So why is that so bad? Am I misunderstanding something?
No, it's just something they're going to try to probably try to hold against you, for no fucking reason. Because
he did it first.
Guess what? Yeah, he did it first, and not only did he do it first, he actually took action on it illegally.
I don't know what they're talking about on the action illegally. I don't think Eric did anything illegally there. I think they're referring to changing the trust into Katie's name. I think that's perfectly legal. I didn't see anything that Eric had done in talking to either his divorce attorney or the person, the financial, services, the estate planning attorney, that was illegal. Both of those are professionals that are not going to do anything against the law and jeopardize their license for a client. But they've got this idea that this is illegal, probably because that's the only way they could reverse it in the courts, if this was an illegal action and they could get it back to going to court.
Yes. All I did was, what the hell am I supposed to do? That was literally the conversation.
Yeah. Yep. So,
It's my right to
that
do.
person's probably going to be right.
And
So that person's probably going to be brought in,
which is perfect, because you know what I told that person?
which is what?
I don't want to fill out the packet. I don't want absolutely anything. I want to walk away clean and free. I don't want anything. And she kept advising me, no, that's not how this works. You have to fill this out about da-da-da-da. And I said, I don't want to. I don't want any of it.
Yep.
That is what I told that lady. I said, I just want these done. And
Yeah,
she argued
perfect.
with me. Forever. I took the packet, I threw it away. I'm like, no, I won't fill this out. Because I don't want to have
So-
everything.
I mean, right. So that's perfect and works in favor for you for everything.
Yep.
nothing.
Yeah,
You know.
I'm just like so fucking annoyed by it though. Like, quit portraying me to be this person.
Yeah.
Anything you're trying to say I did, Eric did.
Okay, this is really frustrating. Anything you're trying to say I did, Eric did. There are several points throughout this trial that Kouri, through her statements to other people, accuses Eric of doing basically everything that she is accused of doing. She's trying to turn the tables and blame Eric. There's even a point where she says, if I turn up dead, Eric did it, where she's literally just flipping the script to make it look like she's the victim and Eric's the culprit. Classic Darvo.
Like, so now they cancel each other out, you fucking idiots. Like, protecting myself, like.
Yeah, I wouldn't get. I wouldn't get too worked up about it.
Yeah, I'm not, but that just gave me an idea. I am going to ask if she can testify.
Well, that's not really going to matter because she just gets subpoenaed. And to be honest, if their attorneys don't do it, yeah, you're going to.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm just annoyed. So I told Mom. I said.
Because they're going to try to paint this picture. So you're going to try to paint this picture and like, oh no.
Yeah.
Nope. Here she is. What she asked about. What did you advise her? What did she say no to?
So yeah, I don't know.
They found, like you said, they found out about it, but guess what? You know, so did he.
There's they found out about it. So Kouri was thinking that this would be kept secret, that no one would know, that she talked to the divorce attorney. They did find out. But now they're like, well, it doesn't matter because Eric did as well. Anyway, we're going to skip through some of this. We don't have to listen to the entire call. Next, we have, this would be, is this Becky Lloyd from Stonemasonry? Becky worked at C&E Stonemasonry. Well, at the same time that Kouri was there helping. They were there one Christmas together doing gift wrapping. The company did a sub for Santa where they would go out and help underprivileged children in the community and wrap presents and provide gifts for these families that otherwise would not have a good Christmas. So there's a point where Becky and Kouri are there together by themselves working on these gifts, and they start talking because Becky has just been through a divorce, and she's, it was a situation where I believe there was some infidelity on the part of the other partners, my understanding, and so she's opened up with that. She's been sort of very emotionally vulnerable about her past, and Kouri starts asking her questions and talking to her about it and questions about that. And she's also opened up about her relationship. And Kouri says that she felt trapped in the marriage and it would be better if Eric died. And she said it in a very serious tone, where this friend who was familiar with Kouri recognizes that this was not like a subtle joke that was just inserted in the conversation. She says it was very serious. She does acknowledge on the cross-examination that Kouri helped her get the job, that the Kouri was, a friend to her, and, at a time where she really needed it, she got a hand up. And defense sort of portrayed her as like a backstabbing, a Judas, who turned on Kouri when Kouri needed her help. But she says, this is what happened. This is what it was. But she did testify and agree that Kouri, once Eric died, was removed from the payroll. Didn't ask for any money or something, and she was definitely reluctant to testify, didn't like doing this. She was cross-examined about one of her recollections that about something Kouri had said shortly after Eric died. And she had testified previously that she couldn't, I'm trying to remember what it was about. She couldn't swear. She said, I don't think I'd be able to say on the stand that was definitely what she had said. What was it? I'm trying to remember. Somebody refresh my recollection. But then she went back and talked to friends saying, what did I tell you about right after that, and the friends confirmed her. Confirmed it, and so now she's able to testify. Look at this. Look at this. Look. I'm sorry. Kouri's eyebrows on this time, probably the highest they go up during this trial. We're gonna listen really quickly.
And she said that in many ways it would be better if he were dead.
This part. Kouri's like, really?
What was the tone of Kouri's voice during that conversation?
It was serious. She definitely had a very serious tone. We weren't really joking. It was a very honest conversation and a very heartfelt conversation. And you could tell from her body language that, you know, she was frustrated and she was struggling with where she was at. It was a serious tone.
Okay, so, sorry.
What was...
There we go. So that's the part that she previously could not, she said that she wouldn't be able to testify that she had said that, but later she confirmed her memory and is now standing firm on the testimony that she had said that, or Kouri had said that to her. So that would be pretty much most of Becky Lloyd's testimony. Kouri's face here, look at this. Just incredulous is what I describe this as. Let me back up so you can hear what it's about.
How far their marriage was off track and how serious the situation was, and I felt bad for both of them. That's a heavy conversation.
I don't have any other questions for you. Thank you.
Thank you.
She's like, what?
Good morning, Ms. Lloyd.
Good morning.
My name's Kathy Nestor. I'm one of the attorneys representing Kouri Richins.
I think that look to the attorney was basically Kouri's approval of go get her, get him, Tiger, sick him. That she was really not happy with the testimony that the friend had offered, and her breathing. Oh my goodness, hyperventilating the whole time. But sort of an aggressive cross on this a little bit. Challenge her on her belief before and how she talked to friends about something, because telling your best friend that you'd hope that your husband died right before he dies, that's a bad look in a murder trial. So let's finish up with her. She helped herself to the judge's water. I think the judge did give her permission. I went back and heard that. A little on redirect. A little more on cross. And now we're up to green checker shirt, which I always like in court. This is a good look. This is Gabriel Morin. Like this guy. He's the owner of the diner, the Mirror Lake Diner. This was the diner that Kouri went to and got breakfast. She paid about $41, including a $10 tip, for an omelet and a bagel sandwich. And this man spent most of his time on the stand discussing his menu, how good his food is, and how much we should all go up and get it. Or at least that's what we heard, because this was just prior to lunch. So he describes the menu, he describes the payment, how the phone call came in for the order was a phone-in order, paid with a card, swiped in person, the tip that was offered, basically everything that happened, how it was packaged in styrofoam, everything about the sandwich, including describing that he's got this recipe that's been kept original. They make their omelets the same way from the day they started, way back in the day. So yes, it makes you hungry to hear about the omelet or the bagel with the the avocado on it as well. So great witness there, Gabriel Morin. $41.99 for the Greek omelet and the bagel sandwich under Kouri's name, paid in person, packaged in styrofoam. After him, so we're going to skip through him just a little bit. Oops. Man, I hate it when I do that. Let's go back to day 9. On day 7, there's day 9. Okay. After him, we go to Joshua Kays, who is Eric's friend. He's a professional. They work together in the construction world. So it sounds like Joshua builds houses like general contractor, and Eric was a subcontractor because there was that sort of relationship. But they were friends first, and they in their off season, in the winter when not as much building is going on, Eric would go on hunting trips with his friend Joshua, and when it's just the two of them, they spent a lot of time together. So they got to know each other pretty well, and he starts testifying about how they camped and hunted together, and how they received a somber Valentine's Day call from Eric, where they can't really say what he said, which was, I think my wife's trying to poison me. But he can sort of talk about his response and how serious it seemed, and his advice as to what he was going to do about it, or I asked him what he was going to do about it, knowing what he knows now. And so it's clear that the conversation that Eric had with this witness indicated that Eric had some knowledge, or at least belief, that Kouri was in fact trying to kill him and poison him. So that was Joshua. He does say he never saw Eric sick or using drugs. A couple of friends do say that they saw Eric using gummies, but most of those friends are friends of Kouri's. And Kouri's own testimony supports that as well. Now, I'm gonna warn you here before we go too far. At the end, not this witness, but at the end of the next witness, I am going to pull up the walk the dog letter. I think it's time we have to look at it. I wanted to keep it out, but I would just want to warn you that if you don't want to see it, if you don't want to see something that the jury might not see in its entirety or at all if the state chooses not to bring it in, we'll keep that at the very end because it has not come in yet in evidence. I've got the whole copy. We'll read it together. I think it's important, especially after we heard the last witness yesterday. But let's go right here. The next witness was Chelsea Barney. This is Kouri's friend. Since 9th grade, she discussed Kouri's finances, like the $250,000 HELOC in 2020, the money arguments, counseling, health issues. She bought the home from Kouri for $370,000. This is it's an expensive home. It's a small home. Yeah, I think it's coming in as well. I just don't know how much the letter's coming in. She bought the home, and the deal that they had was sort of not standard. It was she ended up wiring Kouri directly $45,000 that was supposed to be put down as a down payment towards the house purchase, and then she would take over payments of the loan that was in Kouri's name, and so she was making payments, I believe like $2,900 a month for this home for many months, possibly from January all the way to September. That she was paying on this home, but there was a point once Kouri got arrested that she found out that the deed that she had signed, that giving her the title to the house, never got filed. Kouri didn't file it with the state, which enabled Kouri to still be in possession of the house, use put the house as a loan for something else, and now you've got that second loan that defaults, and this home gets collected by the owners because it's collateral on the other, and it's a mess. But she basically had the house that she paid her life savings towards at a time when she was in trouble, just looking for a home. She'd working as a waitress, collecting tips. She was able to save up $45,000 as a down payment, everything she had, and Kouri basically stole it and put it towards her own personal debt. Now, there's argument that defense has raised that had Kouri been given the opportunity to continue her business deals, that the deals as they came in would have paid her back and covered that in the time, but it didn't. I mean, that never came to fruition. So she lost out. She lost all that money. She lost the $45,000 she put down. She lost the $2,900 she paid for 6, 7, 8 months to the mortgage that she thought was going to pay towards her house, but she ended up losing it anyway, and someone else got the house. She got evicted from that and lost everything. Yet she still sort of seems friendly towards Kouri in this testimony. But Chelsea is mentioned in the text a lot. She's also mentioned in the Walk the Dog letter, I believe. So she was not aware of Kouri's financial distress at all. She talks about the text about poisoning. Let's see. And the trust accusations. We also heard from her about the, I think this is the first one. I think this is where we heard about the celebration of life that went south. After Eric's death, the friends and family got together to celebrate Eric's life. It seems like some people say there were gummies that were being consumed. There was definitely alcohol that was being consumed. At some point, some pictures were taken. Some kids were there. I don't know if the kids were there at this point, but Bryce, at one point, takes his pants off. Bryce Knudsen, and he's celebrating life, as I guess only Bryce Knudsen can, because it just seems like something he would do, according to the witness. But there is one of the Richins' daughters is there, I believe. I think it was Amy was there. There was a video that was taken or pictures that were taken. And at one point, those videos were shared with the private investigator, and it includes a portion where Bryce had his pants off. No pants wakes is new to me. I thought I had seen it all. I mean, I've seen wakes where the deceased is basically stood up in the corner as if they were, a mannequin, and everyone pretends they're alive and, cheers the drink, they've got a drink in their hand or something. I've seen some crazy stuff, right? And that's cool. Everyone can do it differently. I just didn't know that anyone did it this way, the way Bryce does. And anyway, so that might come in. I don't know if we get to hear from Bryce. I don't think he's coming in, which is probably for the better. But there was a picture that was admitted and not shown to the gallery that may feature Bryce prominently. So that happened. That was from Chelsea. Next up, after Chelsea, we had a very, very interesting witness. Let's let her finish up her testimony. This next witness, the last witness of the day, almost there. Come on. Oh, wait, it's first still more of Chelsea. Allie Staking is the last witness. Like many of the friends that Kouri went around with, very, very beautiful, attractive people that are very well put together, and Allie was no exception. Okay. Oh, wait. We do need some of this call. Stop. Let me go back. This is another call that Kouri made, another recording. And unfortunately, this is a really long one. This is between Kouri and Bryce Knudsen. Bryce is the one where he took his pants off at the wake. Let's see. Let's just see if we can listen to part of this.
Everything, and with Kouri's house and like everything that is in her house, she would probably get $3 million with that. And Katie, with the life insurance and everything she's getting out of it, she's getting $7 million. So it's like, like all Kouri is asking for is her house, but they're not agreeing to that because they are coming up with the fact that Kouri has a say, or Kouri was an accomplice in how Eric died.
They're coming up with the fact that Kouri was an accomplice in how Eric died. Unfortunate wording in that, the fact that Kouri was an accomplice. But that's what they're bringing up. This call was made to Bryce to sort of get a feel for where he stood, because Bryce was in the middle, and he was honestly closer to the Richins family than he was to Kouri. So, closer to the Richins side than he was to Kouri's side. And so she sort of calls to feel out the waters to see where he's at. And Bryce pretty much says everything Kouri would want to hear. And I'm not sure if he was just trying to appease her, but I'm sure he wouldn't have said some of the things he said in here if he knew that the Richins later on would hear exactly what he said on this call. So it's got to be some awkward moments for him. Also, there is a point where they say, "Oh, by the way, there's a video of you with your pants off at the celebration of life," and they showed them. And let's see, was there a smile in there? No, it's just a grimace. So continue through that. Let's get to Allie really quickly for a last witness. There's Allie. Okay, Allie walks in all put together. With all her ducks in a row, but she's also got a little bit of attitude, as you see when she comes in. Just watch here for a minute.
Good afternoon. If you'd step in front of Brittany, we'll get you sworn in.
Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give in the matter before the court to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, subject to the pains and penalties of perjury? Thank you.
She says yes.
Please proceed.
Good afternoon, ma'am. What, ma'am, is your name?
Alameda staking?
Is your last name spelled Stakings?
No, there's no S on the end. She's just Allie Staking, not Allie Stakings. But she'll testify in here to a couple things. Most notably that I want to draw out from this is that she testifies that there was a point where they were all together, and by they it was Eric, Kouri, Allie, some friends, a couple other people. They were all together, and the conversation came up about that Kouri, I think Eric said that Kouri tried to poison her, or something like that. Kouri tried to kill me with poisoning, and Kouri's response was, "No, I didn't. It was an allergic reaction," or "That's not how it happened," or "It didn't happen like that," or "No, I didn't." There was a denial there. But it was supposedly a funny conversation, and everyone's laughing, and Eric's laughing, and Kouri's laughing, and everyone thinks this is funny. But the friends, or maybe this friend, made a comment to Eric to never eat anything that Kouri gives you. She says, "I said it as a joke." And then in the trial here, she turns to Kouri and says, "It was a joke." Direct eye contact to Kouri. Just incredible that she does that. Her testimony then focuses on an incident where she went on a trip with Kouri and Eric to Hawaii, and when they arrived in Hawaii, according to this witness, they discover that Eric has placed gummies in Kouri's bag, and Eric thought it was funny. Kouri was mad. And they were laughing that Eric had put it in Kouri's bag because Kouri didn't know about it. Now, this is important for the walk the dog letter, and you're going to see that in just a minute. But when this witness concludes at the end of yesterday, let's see if I can find. She looks down a ton. There's also a point where she smiles at Kouri makes eye contact and really lights up for a minute. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to find that point. Lots of spinning on the chair. Lots of looking down. We get through this witness the letter, and this is weird. The prosecution fought to get this letter in very weakly. I would say badly. They did a terrible job laying the foundation for this letter. This is a letter that both Kouri and Allie went to a retreat on, and they wrote a narrative about their lives in third person. The prosecution tries to get it in, and basically this witness says, "I've never seen Kouri's handwriting before. I wouldn't know if that's hers. I've never seen this before." No foundation's laid. And they're like, "We move to admit." And of course the defense wins the objection on that one because the foundation's not there. And they try again, and judge is like, "No, you can't." Then there's a sidebar. And the judge, when we come back, the defense the prosecution then says, Now I move to admit. And the judge says, subject to the ruling at sidebar, yes. And the defense then says, Judge, if you're going to bring it in, we want the whole thing. Like even the parts that were redacted before. We want the entire letter. And so they do bring this entire letter in. It tells about Kouri having a rough life growing up. Her mom being a gambling addict and, gambling away all the money, and how they moved so many times because of, the problems that they had. She moved like 17 times in 5 years or something, and just an unstable family, and that Kouri wanted to prove to everyone that she was a self-made person, that she could hang with the big dogs as far as these hoity-toity Park City people that surrounded her. And that when she wasn't happy in her marriage, she thought more kids would help, and no kids didn't help, and she just wasn't happy. But there's a big pity party, and she's a victim throughout this story, as well as she's also accomplishing a ton of stuff with her business growing, and her business success just being epic in her own eyes, in spite of the fact that the banks thought otherwise. So. And she did have to speak about herself in the third person, which was sort of funny. Anyway, that's the Hawaii trip, the wake, and we talked about the pantsless Bryce again briefly, and Eric hiding stuff in his suitcase. That takes us to the end of the day yesterday with this witness. There's a picture right there. This is before the pants came off, where you've got... I think they said Kouri on the left over here. Obviously, this is Bryce, feeling good, a couple friends, and this, I believe, is a sister, one of Eric's sisters. So, all right, that takes us to the end of where we are of day 9. But I want to show you something else. Just one second. Plug this in. Okay, we're going to go to the walk the dog letter. Just one second. So if you don't want to see the walk the dog letter, now's the time to bail a little bit. But let's bring this up on 3. That's not it. That's our court feed. Never mind that one. Okay. And we want continuous view. Continuous scroll, page 1. All right, can you guys see this? Does that work? All right, we're going to read this a little bit. And let me take off the replay because this is newish. All right, this letter is a letter Kouri wrote while in jail to her mom. We know it's to her mom because of the very ending of the letter. We'll get to that. But we're going to read through all of this and try to make it make sense. And also, I want you to think about the testimony we heard from some of her friends, specifically Allie, the last witness, while reading this letter. First of all, it says, walk the dog. We think this is a code. What does walk the dog mean? I'm not sure. She says, walk the dog, but take vague notes so you remember. Sky is her original lawyer, the high-priced lawyer she got. Sky is saying, even if the gummies have fentanyl in them from the prosecutor, the prosecutor will say, I tried to put the fentanyl in the gummies so Eric would have them. Stupid, I know, but that's what she's saying. We will still test them, though. However, she wants to link Eric getting the drugs and pills from Mexico, so we will need some kind of connection. Her private investigator is doing some research on the ranch/cartel place Eric would stay at. Here is what I'm thinking, but you have to talk to Ronnie, that's her brother. He would probably have to testify to this, but it's super short, not a lot to it. He will need to tell Sky at the meeting next week. Upon information and belief, just like they say, this is what he needs to tell Sky. A year prior to Eric's death, Ronnie was over watching football one Sunday, and Eric and Ronnie were chatting about Eric's Mexico trips. Eric told Ronnie he gets pain pills and fentanyl from Mexico from workers at the ranch. Not to tell me because I would get mad because I always said he just gets high every night and won't help take care of the kids. There's another one where she flips the script because she was accused of not taking care of the kids because of her use of alcohol. There are pictures in my phone of Eric passed out on the floor or in the chair. Ronnie should have texts from Eric talking about Eric getting high as well. Eric told Ronnie he keeps them in an allergy pill bottle in his work truck, so I wouldn't find them. Ronnie never told me about the conversation. Eric finally told me and asked if Carmen could get him some. Eric, okay, let me stop for just a minute. If she is just refreshing Ronnie's recollection, that's one thing. But she literally includes in here that Ronnie never told me about this conversation. Tell Ronnie to tell Sky that he never told me about this conversation. Eric finally told me and asked if Carmen could get him some. Eric never wanted anyone to know he had an issue, especially get caught. He always wanted Kouri to go down for him. When they traveled, Eric would put his drugs in Kouri's bag at the airlines right before they boarded. That way, if they were caught, Kouri got in trouble, not him. Once they got to wherever they were going, Eric would pull the drugs out of her bag and it would cause a huge fight. She was pissed he would risk her going to jail for his drug use. He would just laugh about it. Eric couldn't ruin his image that he had drug issues, so he would do whatever he had to. Kouri has never done any type of pills, didn't like them. Rarely would she consume THC, only if Eric begged her because it was a special occasion. Reword this is an asterisk, reword this however he needs to make the point, just include it all. The connection has to be made with Mexico and drugs. Ronnie will have the messages to prove Eric confided in him about getting high. He can be short and to the point, but it has to be done. Upon information and belief, LOL. They never found pain pills or fentanyl in my house because he hid it in an allergy bottle in work truck. And Cody emptied all the work truck within a week, so they were never found. When you talk to Ronnie about this, meet up with him in person. I worry sometimes your house and phone are bugged. Maybe drive down to Salt Lake and meet him after work without Bree. Sky has to make the connection between Eric and Mexico because that makes the most sense in her mind. If it's Ronnie's information and belief about the conversation over football, she can use that as a connection. Tell Ronnie, don't overanalyze it. It was a quick 2-minute conversation. LOL. Tell him I need him to do this. Bring me home, and then we will get those dang witches. Beaches, I think. I think it says beaches is what she was trying to say. Also, please text Lotto or call. Tell him to do not text me anything about us doing things together ever. Like church, skiing trips, nothing that puts us together. It doesn't look good. Who is Lotto? We have not heard about Lotto. We're so close to the end. Let's push through, have the conversation with Ronnie before he meets with Sky. Then tell him to tell Sky at the meeting about the conversation. Hang in there. We're almost there. Love you to the moon. Take vague notes of all of this so you remember before you walk the dog. I saw a commercial yesterday, Utah Mortgage Relief. Google them, please. It's for people behind on their mortgage. Can you see if they can help on on Marissa's house, please? We have to get hers, yours, and Chelsea's taken care of ASAP. Try to go to that place in Camas. What about asking Lotto to do a loan solely in his name and not to have you on there? I know he can do a home equity line of credit on his house in Hideout. Not sure if he would, but I know he's like $1 million in equity. Maybe he just doesn't know about the HELOC, home equity. If he wants to help me, taking care of those loans is most important. I don't give a dang about the Yotels. Remember, I told you, one way to get at Katie is going through my phone and finding a picture of her girls, even with the boys. Print 15 copies and send them out anonymously to different media companies. Obviously, don't email the pictures so it's not traceable. She would be livid if it got out to the public. You would just have to do it sneakily and be careful. She would try and trace it back to you. If not, no worries. Sky is having the girls do the first... Sky is having my girls do the first interview with Good Morning America. Please tell Chelsea... Hey! Please tell Chelsea to bring up that he hasn't been to church in the 13 years she has known him, and Eric would brag to her about how much he drank and did pills in high school. Tell Kelsey to say Eric always wanted Kouri to go down for him. For example, he would put drugs in her suitcase when they would travel together, so if anyone got caught, it was Kouri. He would put it in her bag right before they left the house, so Kouri didn't know. Then when he would land wherever, Eric would take them out of her bag, and Kouri would be pissed, and they would argue about it. Tell Kelsey to say how Eric didn't care and would just laugh about it and say, well, I can't get in trouble, as if it was okay that I got in trouble. Have Selma talk about Eric in Spain not being able to drink, so he was looking for drugs the entire time, and explain the drink the waitress gave him, and how I called his doctor and went to the pharmacy immediately. Have Allie talk about how the sisters have always been jealous of me because anything they could do, Kouri could do better. Being a mom, college, stay-at-home wife until she built $1 million company, nice house, car, everything. Everything she had, they wanted. This comes down to jealousy, money, and Eric's partying that they didn't want to acknowledge, and sadly, an accidental overdose. Lastly, don't forget to work on the gun receipts. We want to file charges and let the prosecutor not do anything about it. To use in our defense, will you buy a box of Crest white strips, open them up, put in an envelope, and have Sky give them to me? You can tell her what's in the envelope. I'm sure she won't care. I'll make sure they can't be found in my cell. My teeth are yellow from so much coffee and tea all day. I love you, I love you, I love you. Hang in there. We're getting there slowly. You're the best mom in the whole world. I'm so lucky to have you. So now, this is the walk the dog letter. Some of this will not be coming in to court. But some we believe will. And now once you go back and listen to Allie's testimony and hear her describe how they would go on trips and Eric would put gummies in the bag, and now you're like, wait, is this something that really happened? Why would Kouri have to tell all these friends to say this if it was something that all of them already knew, that it just already happened? Do we have a false testimony on the stand from Allie? Is this something that she was coached into saying? Is it possible that the mom saw this letter and got this information out? Just realize that once they've made these statements to Sky, once they've made these, that becomes discovery information. It's very difficult to change that. It's hard to erase it. This letter wasn't found till later at some point. It's possible that this plan was fully put in place before the letter was found. It was found in her cell. In the defense of this letter, the defense has said that this is a manuscript for a novel that Kouri is writing. She's got this great idea for a story. It'll make a great book. This is all she's written of it, and it just happens to feature the names, people, places, and facts that are relevant to her case precisely. So that's coming next week, we believe, and it's about to be her second bestseller. Seller. Yes, that's funny. So I thought we had to, I wasn't going to look at that letter until after the trial was over, but the way Allie testified yesterday, and it was verbatim nearly, the wording that Kouri had requested several of her friends, other friends, not Allie, but several of her friends, be told to testify or told to share with Sky when they talk to Sky. It looks bad. It looks really, really bad. All right. Anything else? The Crest strips would be prejudicial. Yeah, I think that's the part that's coming out. Oh my goodness! If that's the only part that's redacted, that would be funny. Is she taking the stand? I don't think she is. I don't think Kouri would. Allie corroborating the walk the dog letter proves Kouri was just prepping her defense, not telling them what to say. Surfing Bird, Allie didn't corroborate the walk the dog letter. Allie testified to the story that Kouri has in the walk the dog letter. she did this very early on when she talked to Sky. I don't have the dates, but I need to get those. That happened first, then this letter was found. The testimony matches, it's eerily the same. So either, yes, it did happen just like that, but if it did, you have to ask yourself, why would Kouri have to go back and tell her mom, to tell her friends, to tell Sky this happened? If it happened, wouldn't they already know? Would they need to be told? Tell them to say that this is why he did it, and this would happen, and he'd do it this way, so Kouri wouldn't know. It looks really bad. She said on cops video night at her house she never did drugs except in high school. What they have said about that versus what she said in the letter. Yeah, her drinking and doing drugs, depending on who she's talking to, she tells very different stories. In some things that come out, I think they're one of their phone call recordings. She is joking about just how much she likes to drink, and she's really good at it, and had a lot of practice. Sounds to me Kouri laced the gummies with fent. I don't think she did because there was no trace of THC in Eric's system. So I don't think they found any trace of gummies in his system when he was dead. And THC would be in your system for, 30 days? If they found nothing, that would indicate that the gummies were something that Kouri used more than Eric. Not that Eric never did, but I think that Kouri saying that she never used gummies except a special occasion type thing, I think she literally was describing Eric with that description, like she flips the script in some of the other ways. All right. What if she replaced the gummies with real fruit gummies? It'd be cheaper. Where did all the pills, drugs go she had Carmen get? They were found later at a subsequent search of the house in areas where the drugs were not found before. So we believe, at least I think the state believes, that that the last purchase of drugs from Robbie was to have a quantity that could be hidden in the house to match the allegations that Eric used drugs. And look, you can find them in the house. Psychosaurus Rex says it's wild to me that people say they love drinking. Like literally, there's nothing fun about alcohol. It's miserable. Let's just be real. I believe there's a point in drinking where inhibitions are lowered, stresses are obscured briefly. Yes, I'm sure the hangover is not fun at all. But if it was all just miserable, then people wouldn't do it at all. Let's see. Did she tamper with evidence? That's going to be the allegation, but it's not charged. This is found after the No Pants celebration of life. Walk the dog letter was instructions on how to testify embedded in a letter with other stuff in it, but coaching the witness was the illegal part. This letter, the Walk the dog letter, has it's numbered. It has page numbers. Page 1. So this was the first of the letter. Page 1, page 2, page 3, page 4, page 5. So 5 pages of that letter. So it looks like it was a standalone document. All right. There's a whole hearing on this pretrial. There was. I'd like to see how this comes in or what parts come in. Alcohol also depresses the CNS, hence all the crying and depression that quickly ensues. All right, that gets us all caught up. I would say that if you've missed this trial or very large portions of this trial before now, this weekend's a great time to catch up. There are a few things I think you should watch. I think you should watch the first cross by Mr. Ramos. That's of Officer Wynn. I think you should watch that because that gets really spicy if you watch the whole thing. I think you should watch the expert witness from the state, the forensic expert. She was incredible. Carmen's testimony, definitely worth a watch. Robbie's worth watching as well. And the cross on both of those. The cross on the forensic expert for sure is worth watching. Any of the friends that were closely related to or connected to Kouri is worth watching. I think we've covered some of the more important parts the police officers have regarding the Kouri's behavior, the body cam stuff, things like that. I think we've covered that pretty well. The tech expert that did the phone analysis and put the phones together and tracked the movement, that's definitely worth watching as well. That solidifies the testimony that Kouri was in fact seeking drugs from her friend. It doesn't necessarily say it was fentanyl because that's disputed through Robbie, but we do know that she was soliciting Carmen, asking to have her get drugs. Yes, Rob. Sorry, Brandy Joe. Kouri said he never did drugs several times to the police initially, but then later in some of these things, she says he does drugs all the time and was always getting high. So her story does change. Case is getting better and better, but it is nearing the end. So Monday could be the final day of the state's testimony. It's going to end with Detective Driscoll, who's going to be spicy. It's going to be good. They're bringing good stuff. They're ramping up to the big conclusion. So that's going to happen on Monday. They start at 8:30. It could go into Tuesday, depending on how long the testimony is and how many fights there are with the defense. The defense is trying to keep some things out and argue everything they can. So that could push us into Tuesday. But either way, Monday or Tuesday, the state will rest and defense will start their case. We expect at least 2 of Kouri's family members to be called in the defense's case. And that's going to be interesting. Ronnie's going to be one of them. Ronnie has a lot of instructions in the walk the dog letter. Tell Ronnie to say this, tell Ronnie to say that. We'll see how that goes and what he testifies to. And then probably a couple experts as well from the defense. So there's a very good chance that we could be in verdict watch by the end of next week, barring the defense having a lot of witnesses we just don't know about. So with that takes us to the end of our day today. I'm going to wrap things up and go get my shoulder fixed, so I'm not going to be miserably in pain anymore. But thank you guys for watching the trial with us. We've got a lot of new people with us, and welcome. Let me just say that if you did join us during this trial, welcome. We hope you enjoyed this trial and many others with us. We really do love watching court cases here, watching the administration of justice, seeing how it plays out in the courtroom in that 4-dimensional chess that we like to think about that happens there in the theater of the courtroom. And let's see. Please read my super chat. She said he never did drugs in the video. Agreed. Kouri says in the body cam video that Eric never did drugs. And there are a couple other places she says he never did drugs. She says it to the medical examiner. But then in this letter that she just wrote, she says he did drugs all the time and was getting pills from Mexico and things like that. So she's got it both ways. But thank you for the super chat. I'm sorry I missed it previously, if there was a previous one. Oh, I did miss a couple here. Let's see. Kimar says, as I said yesterday, individually these things don't amount to much, but all this evidence together is pretty overwhelming to me. Shelley Small says, did Eric's dad testify? He was the first witness, Shelley, on day 1. His name was Gene. And we learn from other witnesses that Gene is sort of, they describe him as a Switzerland, neutral ground in this, that he's not as focused, and I wouldn't say vindictive, but focused on Kouri, on getting Kouri, as the sisters are. But he's also not on Kouri's side. So he's sort of in the middle somewhere. But heartbreaking testimony. That dad is just devastated, the loss of his son. Brandy Joe, has it been mentioned in the body cam video that she said she didn't have a history of drug abuse except high school? Right.
Remember in the beginning when we started 110 years ago?
110 years ago. Natalie says, thank you, RA, for the recap. Thank you, Natalie. Appreciate that. Ellie B. from Tennessee says, hey, RA fam, I found out yesterday I finally get to be an aunt, baby due in October. Allie, I'm going to be a grandpa next month. So I'm super excited. Brandy Joe, she said in the Cups video, I apologize, Brandy Joe. I do apologize for not reading this sooner. I should have, and I feel bad that you had to send several super chats to get the message across. But I thank you for that. That was important that she catching what she said initially about her, the time in high school and drug use then. Let's see. Thank you, Brandy Joe, for the 3 super chats, and I'm so sorry. And Zimmy, thank you, my friend. Thanks for being here. All right, that's going to do it for us for the weekend. Hopefully you guys have some great plans this weekend to make memories with friends and loved ones, or think about those memories if you aren't able to be with them. So that's the birthday song. We don't want to sing that again. Sorry. This is the one we want. Music, says Laura. Bring in the music. You'd be a great grandpa. I have a shirt that says, I'm the grandpa that knows everything, and if I don't, I pretend I do, or something like that. My son got me. I might wear it. As soon as I'm a grandpa, I'll wear it. I haven't worn it yet, but a couple things.
You are banished from the state of Georgia.
Yes, I'm banished. Let me say this. Somebody called and asked if I would share my Venmo, PayPal, and Cash App because they wanted to use one of them. If we can put the mods, put it in chat. I don't ask for that. If you want to do it, and I would thank you 1,000 times over. That is super generous. But I think there are commands that will put those up on the screen. There's that. There is what else? I forget what else there was. There was something else I was going to say. But I guess it'll come back to me tomorrow. So, Grandpa Brain already mixing up the names. Yes, it happens.
Hello.
It's gone. We'll remember on Monday. Tonight when you go home, please hug the people you love, smile at someone, make their day just a little bit better. And please stay safe till we go live again Monday morning. 8:30 is the start time for court, which means we're going to start at 8 o'clock. I'm glad we're getting an early start again. This court has seemed to be trending later and later and later, and with us being East Coast and them being on the West Coast, it starts about noon our time sometimes. Anyway, it's going to be fun. Remember to spring forward 1 hour this weekend so you don't miss it. You don't want to be an hour off. You guys have a good weekend. Love y'all. We'll see you. Bye-bye.
Remember in the beginning when we started 110 years ago?